A classic high school football game. We'll take a look at some of the highlights from that game right now. Jim Bodner, a fine quarterback this year, having a real good year. Here he gets Johnson on the board. First quarter, he finds Eric Peprocki, 30 yards in all. The extra point good. Johnson leads 7-0 after one. Second quarter action, Bodner with a big play right here. It's a third down situation, and Bodner keeps it himself, gets a first down, and keeps the drive alive for Johnson. This keeper sets up a field goal. Guess who kicks it? It's Jim Bodner, a 30-yard field goal, and Johnson led it 10-0. Johnson plagued by turnovers right throughout the entire game here. Brian Power fumbles and Brearley recovers, and that sets up a Brearley field goal right before halftime. Mike Vigura from 32 yards away, and it's 10-3, Johnson at half. We move to the third quarter. Brearley ties it up after a long drive. Brian Chalenski, Mike Chalenski's brother, goes over from the 2-yard line. So we're 10-10, and we head down the stretch. Less than a minute to go. Watch this catch. Brian Power on the receiving end down to the 2-yard line, and that one sets up the game-winning touchdown run for Bodner. A day that will always be remembered at Johnson High School. His touchdown puts Johnson ahead, and as we'll tell you a little later on, possibly in the state playoffs. So a real exciting game today. Johnson defeats Brearley. They're now 7-1 on the season. Brearley falls to 6-1-1. The team.
Here in 1987, they've already captured a berth in the playoffs, ready to defend their title.
State championship is everything you worked for from when you first started high school to the end. Each year when the seniors go out, they always remember like the 81, the 85, the 86 state champs. They don't remember the seniors. So we'd like to get 87 state champs to remember us as being seniors.
Mike Chalenski is a bruising player, the most dominant player in our TV3 area since Tony Stewart of Union. Today, Johnson will try to corral him while trying to put a stranglehold on the playoffs. Despite having only lost just once, right here versus Immaculata, Johnson must win to have even the slightest chance at postseason glory.
We definitely have a positive attitude. We've had a positive attitude. We've had to have a positive attitude ever since, our one loss. But yeah, our whole team's got a positive attitude, keeping faith through everything, so we'll be all right.
We've been in a must-win situation all year round, and then this just makes it 10 times stronger. We must win because, we have a slight chance as it is, but we really want to win this and just, hopefully get that chance to go into the playoffs.
This is the TV3 Action Arena. Two top 10 teams meet today at Nolan Field in Clark. It's high school football action, Brearley against Johnson. And today's game is brought to you by the Westwood, the new kid on the block with 24 years experience. By Riverside Savings, serving New Jersey and the nation for 100 years. By Royal Battery, the king of power. And by Barnes Chevrolet, where Alan Boyan, sale floor manager, has received the Outstanding Award for overall professional customer satisfaction. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Action Arena. I'm Steve Mayer. They don't get any bigger than this one. Two teams possibly heading for the playoffs. Brearley comes in at 6-0-1 off a tie last week against Manville. Johnson comes in 3 straight shutouts. They're 6-1. This should be a great game. Joining me for it, it's Bill Horry. And Bill, let's talk about these two teams. They both have so much at stake.
This promises to be one of the most exciting games of the year. Both these teams have so much at stake. Both these teams are so ready to play. both these teams have so many great, outstanding athletes. I don't think I've seen a game where there are so many Division I, potentially Division I football players on the field at the same time.
One of the best players we'll watch on the field, maybe one of the best players we've seen on TV3 all year. He's on the side for Brearley. He's Mike Chalenski.
You know, Steve, I saw Mike Chalenski play in the state final last year, and he was dominating. He controlled the game. This year, they tell me he's even better. I can't imagine it, but that's the way it is.
Chalenski has an outstanding supporting cast. We'll watch Joe Capizano at a halfback slot, Gary Foucher at quarterback.
Mr. Capizano, I understand, has more yards to date than Mr. Chalenski. He's a great runner, and he can break one for distance anytime. Mr. Foucher, on the other hand, throws well, he keeps the option well, he commands the veer offense, and this is the same backfield that won the state championship last year, Steve.
Capizano, Chalenski, and Foucher, they'll be running out a very fine defense led by Todd Berger.
Todd Berger is one of the best defensive tackles in the state, maybe in the United States. I don't know. He's big, he's strong, he's mobile, and when it comes time to play, he's hostile.
We mentioned that Todd Berger and the Johnson defense with 3 straight shutouts. That is quite impressive. We also have to talk about Johnson's offense. They score over 24 points per game. They're led at quarterback by Jim Bodner, at running back by Brian Power.
Jim Bodner is about 6'4". He's about 195 pounds. He is one of the finest athletes on the field today. He runs well. He's got a rifle for an arm, and he could break this ball game open at any time.
Brian Power and Jim Bodner, just 2 of the reasons why Johnson High School at 6-1 coming into today's contest. It is a beautiful day for football. We're going to have a beautiful crowd, Mountain Valley Conference action, and at stake, the playoffs. It's going to be a good one. We'll be back with the kickoff right after this. As you can hear the crowd anticipating a great game here from Nolan Field in Clark, and it should be a great one. Earlier this week, I had the pleasure of talking with both coaches, and I asked them what they expect.
The key will be the balance of both teams, and I think the nice part of both of these teams is they play good defense. I think we're capable of playing good defense. They've got a nice balanced offense. They have a good special teams program. And that's why they've won. And we've won because we've played some pretty good offense. We've played some solid defense. We've kicked the ball well. And I think those are the things that at this time of the year, the teams that you're seeing surface for the playoffs and with the winning records are the teams that are doing all things well. The teams that do just 1 or 2 things start to find their shortcomings. And, you know, with scouting being what it is, it's very difficult to hide things nowadays.
One of our goals is to play good defense. You know, our philosophy is defense wins championships. I think any Super Bowl team in the past couple of years, you know, they've had some outstanding defenses, and I think that we've gotten that across to our players, that defense is the key to start with. We have to eliminate the big play. You know, we can't give them the easy touchdowns. And, you know, and that starts with defense.
Both coaches obviously as excited about today's game as the players.
These are 2 outstanding, knowledgeable young coaches. As far as I'm concerned, the most important aspect of their coaching is the fact that they're not only fine football coaches, they're outstanding people coaches. They love kids, they work for kids, and they've devoted this part of their lives to young people. And they're special.
No question about that. Bob Taylor from Brearley, Steve Cicatelli from Johnson. Our officials for today's contest, our referee is Jim Beamish, the umpire Bob Clark, the linesman is Ken Totten, the lines judge is Ron Marotta, the back judge George Angelo, and the clock operator is Frank Sayer. Again, as you look, the captains meeting at midfield. Brearley will be dressed in the white trimmed with blue, whereas Johnson will be in their home blue trimmed in light blue and white.
Steve, this is as exciting as any playoff game I've seen.
No question about that. It has that playoff atmosphere. Today is Parents' Day. The Athletic Booster Club today sponsoring Parents' Day at Arthur L. Johnson High School. And as you can see, they had a ceremony before the entire game. And it really is nice as the Clark Crusaders Booster Club celebrating Parents' Day today from Clark. Johnson High School comes in after 3 straight shutouts. Victories over Roselle, Bound, and Hillside. Brearley coming off a disappointing tie last week to Manville 14-14. Manville trailed 14-0 heading into the fourth quarter, scored 14 straight points, but missed an extra point late that would have given them the victory.
I think it's important to note, Steve, that both these teams have had their one disappointing game. And that's in the past now. They know what it is not to succeed. And I think we're just going to see one bang-up football game this afternoon.
We should. Johnson's only loss this year. Their setback came in the second game of the season. They lost to Immaculata 38-8. Mike Vigura, he's in your picture right there for Brearley, one of the finest kickers in the state, set to tee it off. And back deep for Johnson, it's Brian Power and Chris Lindquist. So here we go. You can feel it in the air as this one is underway, and it will be taken by Power from the 15. Power looks to cut it back inside, and he goes down. Johnson High School starts from the 24-yard line, 1st and 10. Their offensive line, Todd Berger, Rob Gallo, Mark Bongiovanni, Mark Crater, and George Visconti. Their backfield, Rob Del Sorte and Brian Power. The flanker is Eric Paprocki, and Chris Lindquist is the split end. The tight end is Mark Clermont. And at quarterback, one of the better ones in Union County, Jim Bodner. He's thrown for over 1,000 yards this season. From the 24, 1st and 10. Clermont, the man in motion from right to left. We'll see what Johnson comes out with. Bodner hands off to Power. Left side, and he gets a couple of yards. He's brought down by a host of Brearley tacklers. Brearley looks like this on defense. It's Brian Chalenski, Mike's brother at left end, Chuck Mogensen at left tackle. The nose guard is Pat Olenek. Elio Siragusa is the right tackle, and Tony Millis is the right end. The linebackers are Mike Chalenski and Corey Bull. And in the secondary, it's Mike Ramos at a corner. The two halfbacks are Kinney and Capizano. Your safety is Gary Foucher. Pickup of 2 yards on the first play for Johnson. 2nd down and 8. Bodner, the senior quarterback, lone man in the backfield is Power, and Bodner's back to pass. Rolls out, he's chased, he throws incomplete. Chased on the play nicely. He was able to get the football off, but the ball incomplete.
We're going to see a lot of different sets. This is one of the sets. They've got 2 wide receivers to the right and a split end to the left. And what they try to do is flood that zone, flood that short zone.
Chuck Mogensen on the pressure that time for Brearley High School, so it brings up a 3rd down and 8 now, and a certain passing situation for Bodner. He has put the ball up now 123 times this season. Lindquist is split to the right, backfield is split as well, as Bodner goes back to pass, and now the draw. Handoff inside goes to Del Sorte, and he may have gotten about a yard, but it will bring up a 4th down situation. So Brearley's defense hangs tough right off the bat.
Right, Pat Olenek is a fine middle linebacker. He's 5'10", he's 230, and he moves like a halfback.
Olenek that time on the tackle, and Bodner now will do the punting. Back deep, it's Capizano for Brearley, and the kick is short. It'll be taken by Mike Ramos, and he goes down. Power in on the tackle, so we watched him offensively, and Power comes up with a very fine play. Brearley takes over. 1st and 10 now at the 33. Their offensive line is Chuck Mogensen, Chris Squilaro, Pat Olenek, Elio Siragusa, and Dan DeCellis. The backfield, Chalenski and Capizano. Your flanker is Mike Ramos. Marty Ludek is the split end. The tight end is Rich Shear. At quarterback, it's Gary Foucher. He won't throw the ball that much, indicated right there by his statistics. From the 33. I formation, handoff to Chalenski, and he runs into Todd Berger. No gain on the play, and Berger leads a strong defensive line that time. Berger anchors this defensive line. Mark Clerman is there along with Jason Pressman and George Visconti. The linebackers for Johnson, a good bunch. Brian Power, Rob Del Sorte, Rob Gallo, and Jim Bodner. They make this defense click. The secondary is Eric Paprocki, Chris Lindquist, and Gerard Bryant. No gain on that first play that time for Chalenski, 2nd and 10. This time it's Capizano, and he goes nowhere. May have gotten the ball to the 35-yard line. So Brearley throughout the day will mix it up between Chalenski and Capizano, and they have one carry apiece early on.
I think most coaches at this particular point in the game are more concerned with not making a mistake and letting everybody get the feel of the ball. They know they're not going to blow anybody out. They're not going to break one for long yardage this early in the ball game. But they do not want to make a mistake.
3rd down, we'll call it 9 from the 35-yard line. Backfield in the eye, Chalenski and Capizano, and Foucher's going to throw. It is complete on the sidelines. Let's see if he had his feet in. And the call is that Ramos had his feet in. So it's a completed pass for Brearley High School.
Mike Chalenski, Steve, is running from the fullback position in the eye now. We may see him move back and assume that tailback position on certain occasions. In fact, that's where he ran from last year in the state final.
Good job that time by Ramos to keep his feet in. And we're going to get a measurement right here as Bobby Taylor looks on from the sidelines. Taylor in his 14th year at Brearley High School. And what a fine record he has. 87 wins, 40 losses, and 6 ties. It will be 4th down now. And early on in the contest, we'll have to see whether Brearley chooses to go for it.
I would be very surprised if they did. Very surprised. I could be surprised, right?
Bill, you're surprised early in the contest right here as it's 4th down and inches from the 44. Chalenski, close to the 1st down.
It's going to be close, won't it?
It looks from this vantage point like he's got it. But it matters where the mark is.
Yeah, I think that's going to be important. It just didn't make it. Yes, he did.
A 1st down for Brearley. And they are now moving with their first down, and they're to the 44-yard line.
That shows you the faith that Bobby Taylor has in Mike Chalenski, giving him the ball in such a key situation.
He's done it for him since his freshman year. Mike Chalenski, an outstanding performer. Here's Foucher, keeps it himself. He's got some room, he's still on his feet. 1st down for Gary Foucher to the 35-yard line, and a fine job of running for the senior quarterback.
That's just what Bobby Taylor wants to see happen. He'd like to see the Johnson defense key on the inside, key on Chalenski inside, and then run that quarterback option.
The play, though, will come back. There was a holding call in the backfield, and this play's coming back, but a good job by Foucher. He came into the game with 295 yards rushing, but all for naught right there.
One of the things that Coach Cicatelli told me yesterday, one of the things they must do in order to win the game is to make Gary Foucher pitch the ball. He's too dangerous when he keeps the ball. They've got to get to him quick. Obviously, they didn't do it that time. They were so concerned with Chalenski running up the middle.
Correction on the penalty. It was not a holding call, instead a clip. So the ball now back at the 34, and it is 1st down and 20. Handoff inside to Ramos, and he's got a lot of room. Mike Ramos breaks loose, a big gainer to the 28-yard line. A 1st down and a wide open play for Brearley High School.
Here's one of the kids we never even did mention, did we? Mike Ramos. He doesn't carry too many, but the times he does carry, he's averaging over 10 yards a carry. He's the kind of kid you never notice until he crosses a goal line, Steve.
38 yards on the carry for Mike Ramos. He came in with 16 carries for 163 yards, and the junior making things happen on this first drive for the Bears. Foucher, pitch out, Chalenski, correction, Capizano, and a loss of a couple of yards on the play.
Notice the plays that seem to work the best are the misdirection. If they know you're coming, they'll stop you. That's a good defensive team, that Johnson Regional football team. You're not going to beat up on them. Now notice how quick they got to Foucher that time. That tackle came down so hard, made him pitch the ball. He had no choice.
The injured player on the field, that's Joe Capizano. He had some trouble with the pitch. It looked like he may have maybe turned or bothered an ankle that time as he went back, and immediately after the play, he got up and then went down on all fours, as you see right now. And it seems like they are right now looking at the ankle of Joe Capizano, a senior, 5'10", 165 pounds, and he came into today's game as Brearley's leading rusher.
And he's a fine back. They will most certainly miss him if he can't get back.
Well, watch that last play again. Maybe we can see the injury to Capizano. You see he has trouble with the pitch. Tries to cut back, and right there it looked like his ankle may have given out just a bit.
Well, the ground is soft, Steve. I was on the turf prior to the game. It's a great field. It's a turf field, and the ground has just retained just a little bit of the moisture from that last rain we had, and it's kind of soft. It's a kind of turf where your cleats might have a tendency to get stuck in.
That's a good sign. Joe Capizano walking off the field all by his lonesome, and I'm sure we'll see Joe Capizano before this day is over. Again, the field is wet. It is a beautiful day. Temperatures are in the 60s, beautiful blue skies. But if you can remember back to a couple of days ago, the snows were falling from these same skies, and that's the reason why this field is pretty well soaked. A loss of 2 on that last play. It'll be 2nd down and 12 from the 30. Kinney into the game, and this is Kinney with the handoff. Ken Kinney inside picks up a total of 5 yards on the play. And now Capizano out of the game, and we'll be watching for Capizano to come back in.
He's in pretty good shape now because he's got third and about 5, but he's got 2 downs to pick up that 5, Steve. So I'd be surprised if I saw him put the ball up in the air.
3rd down and 6.
Now notice, Chalenski's in a tailback position. He's not playing fullback this play.
He's behind his brother. Foucher keeps it himself, tries to get to the outside. He has got himself a 1st down, it looks like, as he heads to the sidelines, inside the 20-yard line to the 16.
And one of the things that David Brearley is going to have to do to keep the pressure off is to run play-action passes, and I believe that's what we're going to get off a lot of those this afternoon.
Bill, this is a very impressive drive, the way Brearley is just marching down the field.
And they're doing it by doing things different. They're not running that tailback.
1st down. Chalenski bounces off a man and bounces near the goal line. He steps out of bounds. But again, we watch the power of Mike Chalenski as he just bounced off a defender.
He lowers his head and gets his momentum going. You better have about 3 or 4 people ready to hit him. He's a battering ram. He's tough.
He stepped out of bounds at the 7-yard line, a gain of 9 yards on the play for Mike Chalenski. So Brearley now inside the 10-yard line. Handoff goes inside. It's Brian Chalenski, and Brian Chalenski may have gotten the yard that was needed for the 1st down. Now, over the last 2 weeks, Brearley has been inside the 10-yard line quite often, but they have had problems. Last week, in fact, inside the 10-yard line against Manville, they fumbled 3 times on the snap from the center to the quarterback.
And if they have a goal this game, a playing goal, that goal is to rack up points every time they get inside the 15. It's been a bugaboo. It's one of the things that I know has annoyed Stevie Taylor very much, and I know he's worked hard at it.
So it's a
Bobby
first down. It's a first down. Brian Chalenski got the yard that was needed. So it's first down and goal now from the 6-yard line. Brearley knocking on Johnson's door, trying to score here in the first quarter with 5 minutes and 56 seconds left.
And there's number 38.
Chalenski, and he is dragged down. Good defensive pursuit. It was Berger and Power in on the tackle.
Excellent pursuit. And I think that what's going to happen is they're going to have to take advantage of that pursuit and run misdirection plays or play action plays. I don't think they're going to beat up on them. At any point in the game, do I believe that they're going to be able to beat up on Johnson Regional?
No gain on that last play. Second and goal from the 6. Again, I formation. Brian Chalenski in front of Mike Chalenski. Foucher looks to the end zone, throws, it is knocked down. Bodner knocks it down, and if Jim Bodner was just a step over to his right, he may have had himself a touchdown with an interception.
Good pressure. Now, who is that, 76?
George Visconti.
George Visconti did a great job.
So now it's third down. What do you do here?
Well, I think I'd draw a screen. I don't think I'd throw. It's too much of a throwing situation. The ends are coming hard. It's going to be difficult. I wouldn't be surprised to see some sort of a blitz on this play. Somebody trying to get to the play before it gets started.
Handoff. Chalenski puts his head down inside the 5, but short of the goal line to the 3.
I'm sure they have a field goal kicker. I don't see anybody coming in.
Mike Vigura, who is the field goal kicker for Brearley, one of the finest around, and now he is making his way into the game. So Brearley will elect to go for the 3 points, and Vigura pretty automatic from this distance. So Johnson's
a lot of pressure, Steve.
Did a nice job that time.
Nothing's automatic in a game like this.
No question about it. It will be a 20-yard field goal attempt from Mike Vigura. Brearley looking to get on the scoreboard first. High snap, placed down, and it is no good. It hit the post. It hit the post. It was a high arcing kick, and when it came down, it landed smack dab on the post. Johnson holds Brearley scoreless.
A lot of pressure that time, Steve. A lot of pressure and a lot of tension. Nothing's automatic in this game.
Nothing is automatic, and watch it again, and watch as the ball goes up, and when it comes down, look what it hits.
They don't come any closer, do they? It's going to come down, I guarantee. Boom.
Right on the post. So Brearley marches all the way down the field, and they do not score. And we're taking our second look of the day at the Johnson offense. Bodner, the quarterback, Del Sorte and Power in the backfield.
Power's a fine running back. He gets a little room, and he can bust this game over.
Quick out to Power. He's got it, and a first down for Johnson. So a quick opener and a beautiful play.
Just like that, a quick slant. He waited till he cleared the zone. As soon as he cleared the zone, he hit him a fine throw. Good protection, good reception. And that's what both these teams are going to have to do. They're going to have to open things up a little bit.
4 minutes to go, first
Either one
quarter.
of these teams have the potential to completely dominate the other.
Gain on that last play of 16 yards. Handoff toes to Del Sorte, and he is lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Everybody there on the tackle. Mogensen was there. Pat Olenek was there for Brearley. So a host of Bears in on that last tackle. No gain.
Olenek controls that middle of the line pretty well. They're going to find difficult running in that area. I think if they're going to have to do any running, it's going to have to be in the flanks and off tackle.
You mentioned Pat Olenek.
Yeah, they're going to have problems inside.
Olenek, the nose guard, and he was an all-conference selection last year as well as his sophomore year at nose guard. Second down and 10. Bodner, straight back. Penalty flags are down. Over the middle, it's incomplete. Intended for Lindquist, but again, penalty markers are down and will await the call.
Flag on the play.
Penalty flags in the backfield of Johnson. And it looks like the indication is that the penalty will be against the Crusaders.
Illegal shift against the Crusaders.
Illegal shift is the call.
Obviously, someone was moving just before the snap, Steve, and we missed it.
And Brearley will decline the penalty. They'll take the play, the incomplete from Bodner to Lindquist. So it's now 3rd down and 9.
And a dangerous situation, 3rd and 9. Brearley knows they're going to throw. They have excellent secondary. It looks like they're getting ready to put a little pressure on the quarterback.
Bodner stands up, throws to Power. He has got it. Great catch. What a job by Power to stay with the football. Like Figueroa's field goal, the ball seemed to stay in the air for quite some time, but when it came down, well, it was in Johnson's favor. Good catch.
Yes, it was. Good throw, good catch, good concentration on the ball. That's what it takes. Actually, what happened was there was man coverage, Steve. And the reason there was man coverage was because they were sending 6 people up front.
A gain on the play of 39 yards. So it's 1st and 10 now at the 25. Movement, flags, and Power with the carry, and he runs out of bounds, but this play should be coming back. So Johnson excites the crowd with a fine pass play from Bodner to Power, good for 39 yards, and the momentum certainly right now in Johnson's favor.
Nothing new about that kind of a situation, Steve. When you blitz, you take a calculated risk. If the blitz gets picked up, which it was, then you've got man-to-man coverage. The coverage was decent. The coverage was pretty decent. But it's pretty tough. That end is out there. He's used to catching the ball, and he has an advantage because he knows where the ball's going to be thrown. So you take that risk every time you blitz.
Power has been Johnson's favorite receiver so far this year. Bodner looks to Power, and so far this year he's come up with 20 receptions. So with the penalty, it's now 1st and 15 from the 30. Let's see if Bodner continues to throw. He's had good success this drive. He's back.
Flood pattern.
Scott Gomich, it's incomplete. Good play there by Ken Kinney to knock it away for Brearley.
That time, Steve, they were in a zone coverage. And they fell back in their zones, and when they ran into the zones, they had decent coverage. There was no man-on-man, there was no blitz.
Kinney made the fine play for Brearley High School. He's a senior, and last week came up with a very important interception against Manville that set up a score for the Bears. It's 2nd and 15.
When the quarterback rolls out or sprints out to one side or another, the entire defense needs to rotate, and they did that time.
Bodner looked like he was a bit confused and had to call a timeout with 2:26 to go first quarter. Bodner now will have to talk things over with Steve Cicatelli. Both coaches run in. They'll talk with their respective teams, and so far we have had a scoreless tie from Johnson High School.
And some great plays.
Some fantastic plays, and I don't think anybody can doubt the fact that we thought we were going to have an exciting game, and so far the game has lived up to its billing.
And I think both teams have to get back now, Steve, to the things that they do best. Johnson Regional has a fine passing attack. I think if they're going to win this game, they're going to have to use that passing attack. They're not going to run it over anybody. In spite of the fact that Brian Power has proved to be an outstanding running back, in order to win this game, they're going to have to put the ball up in the air. Brearley, on the other hand, has a good running attack. They're going to have to get back to that running attack. They're going to have to run more options. They're going to have to be patient.
Both of these teams hope to be in the state playoffs next week, and on the Suburban High School Sports Report, we will preview next week for you all the state playoff matchups for high school football, high school boys and girls soccer, and field hockey. You could watch it Friday night at 8:30, Saturday at 5:30. 2nd and 15. So after the timeout, we'll see what Steve Cicatelli has up his sleeve. Will Bodner be passing once again?
Looks like they're going to blitz this time again.
He's back to pass. He's got a lot of time, and now he goes to the end zone. What a catch! It's a touchdown. Eric Paprocki on the receiving end, and Johnson scores first.
Great play, and I think what's going to have to happen is Brearley is going to have to get away from that man coverage. They've got burned twice, same kind of coverage.
Here is that man coverage, and watch what happens.
Here he comes, he goes deep. He beats his man. He only beats him by a yard, but it's enough.
The extra point by Bodner is good, and they're celebrating here at Johnson. A playoff spot is on the line, and the Crusaders lead it 7-0. The touchdown pass from Bodner to Paprocki, good for 30 yards, and Johnson is ahead.
That's a seasoned Brearley team, Stephen. They're not going to pack it in now. They're going to maintain their composure. I don't for a second think that this game is all over. No way.
7-0. Johnson leads it 2:16 to go here in the first quarter. And so far, what a great game this has been. A super showcase for high school football. Bodner to kick it off. And it will be taken by Ramos in the end zone. And it will be a touchback. Brearley gets it on the 20-yard line. And a fine job of kicking for Jim Bodner. So Bodner really lit it up with the passing attack. And the two catches, the one by Power and the one by Paprocki, clearly outstanding catches. And those two reasons why Johnson has taken the lead.
Brearley has to get back to its game plan now. They've got to do the things that they do best. They run an excellent veer. They gained good yardage on it. One of the two times they ran out of it. I wouldn't be surprised to see them come back to that.
Chalenski, that's Mike Chalenski on the carry. And Mike may have picked up about 5 yards out to the 25-yard line.
You know, he keeps beating on you. It's going to have a toll before long.
Oh, eventually, there's no question about that. Don't you think time after time after time, it's going to start to hurt?
Except he's running into some pretty big people himself, isn't he?
Well, Berger goes 6'3", 245, and Clerman 6', 185. Visconti 6'3", 210.
I don't think they're going to make a living on that particular play. They're going to have to do a lot of things. Back in the I formation now.
Handoff goes to the first man through, and that's Brian Chalenski, and Chalenski gets himself a first down. No question about it, Bill. Brearley has been able to run the football this afternoon.
And that's what they do best. And I think if I were they, I'd get right back to running those kind of plays. Run the tailback, run the fullback, run the option play, and then maybe a quick counter. Have that wingback come around.
A gain of 10 yards on the last play for Brian Chalenski, and it's first down and 10 from the 34. Brian Chalenski met immediately. Fine defensive play. Again, Berger right there. And look at Todd Berger. Is he ever psyched for this one?
He's tough, and he's at the football. They're going to have to block him if they're going to move the football. If they don't block him, they're not going to move the football. He will not take himself out of the play.
And here it is. Come on, Todd, hit your head. Hit your head a couple of times. Boom, 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 again. Todd Berger animated on the field, and one of the nice guys we've met throughout the entire year. We've been out traveling around this TV3 area. Those threesome and really all the players on the field, true gentlemen as well as fine football players.
They certainly take after their coaches.
Foucher's pass is intended for Marty Ludek, incomplete.
Invariably, when the coaches are gentlemen, the players are going to be gentlemen. And those coaches insist on it, I know.
Third down now and 10.
You see, this is what Johnson would like to do. Take Brearley out of their game plan. It's 3rd and 10. They've got to throw the ball. They don't particularly like to throw the ball in spite of the fact that Gary Foucher is very capable. Foucher is also very dangerous. Every time he has a football, he's dangerous. He comes back to pass, and he's dangerous as a runner. He sprints out on the option on the veer, and he's dangerous as a runner. So he's the kind of guy they've got to put a kibosh on real quick.
20 seconds to go, first quarter. Johnson leads 7-0, 3rd and 10. And here's Foucher back, and he goes down. Berger again on the play, along with Brian Power. 4th down for Brearley.
That time there was man coverage on number 28. Number 11 had number 28, man-to-man, and it was a good opportunity to turn one loose.
Gerard Bryson for Johnson, number 11, and Marty Ludek, number 28. And that is going to do it for the first quarter. What a great quarter of action. Johnson High School looking for a playoff bid, leads Brearley 7-0, and we'll be back with the second quarter right after this. Welcome back. Brearley in a punting situation to start this quarter. Chalenski will do the punting, and he gets off a dandy. Lindquist goes back, he fumbles the football. It is recovered, I believe, by Brearley. Lindquist fumbled, the ball was on the ground, and Brearley's got the football.
And the first error of the ball game, and Brearley must capitalize on this error if they're going to win this game. Johnson won't make too many of those errors.
Earlier this week, we asked some Johnson players about the atmosphere this week in school.
Oh, the atmosphere is great. You know, people, student body's been coming up to us. You know, you got to win this one. You know, it's a crosstown rival. It's, you know, it's a regional school. And, yeah, I think it's great. And I would say mainly we're playing for pride because of what happened last year. And, you know, that's what I'm sure everyone on the team's got last year's game in the back of their mind, too. So I would say we're mainly playing for pride.
Oh, well, the school's really going crazy for this game. It's going to be a big pep rally on Wednesday, and everyone's really looking forward to it. We haven't had much of a crowd at each game, but I really have a feeling it's going to be a nice crowd at this game, and our school's really up for it.
Everybody's, you know, psyched up for this game. Not only us, we've, you know, been waiting for this game for a year. A lot of, you know, student body, you know, everybody's pumped up to play Brearley. Hopefully come away to win.
So the Johnson players commenting on coming through with a win in the atmosphere, and so far it has been a playoff-like atmosphere. And right now, again, they're trying to stop Johnson. It will be a 3rd down situation as Foucher falls.
First play, Mike Ramo tried to come back on a misdirection play, a wing back around. He fooled everybody but Tim Bodner. Had he fooled Tim Bodner, the score would have been tied.
There's your first quarter stats, and so far, Brearley has been able to establish the rush, while Johnson has established the pass.
That's Jimmy Bodner. Second time he stepped out to run the option, and as you saw, he slipped.
We're just underway here, second quarter, and now we're going to get a delay of game call against Brearley. So the Bears will move 5 yards back, and it will bring up a 3rd down and 15. So far, Brearley has not been able to take advantage of the turnover.
And they better do something right quick, because they won't get too many of these chances. Here's their old big problem. They're inside the 20-yard line, and they have problems punching it across. It's 3rd down and about 16 to go.
The ball is now placed on the 29-yard line. Foucher again in a passing situation. And he's back. He goes down. Brian Power with the sack for Johnson, and he has been all over Gary Foucher throughout the entire afternoon.
Brian Power, he's 6'2", he's 195 pounds, and he moves like a cat. He diagnosed that play just as soon as it got started. He blitzed, he came in from the outside and made the stop. He's playing cornerback on the left side that time.
Power came in with just 1 sack, but he has been right there throughout the entire afternoon. It's 4th down, call it 22, but Johnson has to look at Brearley going for it. And Chalenski's gonna throw over the middle. It is knocked down. Gerard Bryson knocks it down, so Johnson will take over on downs, and the ball will now be on the 34-yard line.
That's a halfback pass, and Johnson had seen that play before. Steve told me he'd seen it before. I spoke to him yesterday, and yes, he's seen the halfback throw the ball, and they were ready for it. They were back in their deep coverage. No way could that pass have been completed. I was surprised he threw it.
And a good play, of course, to knock it down. An interception would have been as good as a punt for Brearley High School. So Johnson has the football back, 1st and 10 at the 34, leading 7-0. Bodner back again to Power, but this time Power could not hold on.
Play was open, though, and it was a good call, and I believe it was called at the line of scrimmage. I believe it was an audible. Seemed to take that much time. He saw the zone open. Just put a little too much air in the ball.
Johnson coming in felt that their playoff hopes were very slim. Even if they were to win today, they needed what amounted to many, many combinations to get in. But this morning, Steve Cicatelli found out that their chances were much better. We'll explain after this play. It's Bodner looking for Paprocki, and it is incomplete. Up in the air and up for grabs, but down came the football, incomplete.
And he did have a step on a defender once again.
Paprocki out there, the senior, coming off a knee injury against Immaculata, was back last week for the first time, and that pass just fell out of his hands, so it's now 3rd and 10. Now, if Johnson's to win today, they do believe that because the way the playoff situation is formatted, they would be in the playoffs because in their section, the state would have to take 6 teams. So a win, they feel, would mean a playoff bid. Here's Bodner, over the middle, complete. Bryson on the catch, good for a 1st down, and Johnson moves into Brearley territory.
A flood pattern. They flooded the zone and they hit the middle man. Now what they're going to have to do, they're going to have to put some pressure on the quarterback. They're going to have to put some pressure on Jim Bodner if they're going to get him to not complete those passes. They let him stand back there and pick his receivers. He's going to just do that, pick his receivers.
Bryson's
he had 2 receivers open that time.
No question about that. Bryson's 9th catch of the season. Senior, 5'9", 150 pounds. So the ball now on the 48-yard line, and Bob Taylor's got to be slightly concerned. Jim Bodner has come out, and he's thrown well so far.
And they've got to do something different, Steve. What they're doing hasn't done the job. They're not putting pressure on the quarterback, and yet they're going man-to-man in the deep secondary, and that hasn't been working for them.
We've just been informed that Jim Bodner has gone over his total, his school record total of 1,116 yards he set last year. He now has 1,121 total yards passing this season. So congratulations to Jim Bodner on setting another school record.
He's a good one. He's got a good arm, good feet, good athlete. Got just about everything going for him.
Right now he's got a 1st down going for him. Already today, a touchdown to Jim Bodner's credit. 1st quarter, he hit Eric Paprocki. And once again, Johnson on the move with the lead. He's back again. And it's incomplete, intended for Lindquist. And again, the only problem Bodner seems to be having is that he seems to be right now throwing a little high to his receivers.
Might be, but that the receivers are so clear. You know, he gets pumped up a little bit, the adrenaline flows, and he puts a little too much mustard on the ball. But he had his receiver there.
Some big schools are looking at Jim Bodner, Division I prospect. He's got his eye on Syracuse, Rutgers, and Penn State. And so far today, having a fine Division I type day. 8:53 to go here. First half, he's back again. He throws again high. This time it's brought in by Bryson, who makes his second catch of the drive.
And he also had his other end out in the deep flat on the other side. So he's had receivers open. They've been laying off those receivers a little bit, and I guess they're a little concerned that they're going to get behind him. I can understand that.
This time they throw in front of Gary Foucher and Ken Kinney. Another thing to point out is that Joe Campuzano's back there in a cornerback slot. And Campuzano is, if you watch him, he's limping around out there. Remember, on the first drive for Brearley, Campuzano came up limping a bit. It looked like an ankle injury. He is out on the field, but he seems to be favoring the leg. So again, Johnson might have an eye on that, and they might be throwing because of that as well.
Well, every time they go into a zone defense, Johnson's finding the holes in the zone, right in front of behind the linebackers, in front of the safeties, and there's a lot of area to throw in that area, and they're having luck doing it. And I would be surprised if we don't just see him continue to do it. Not this play, not with third and a few inches.
Well, as you saw, Johnson just short that last play, picked up 9 yards. So it is 3rd and inches for Johnson High School.
What do you bet on the quarterback sneak?
I don't know. I might give the handoff to Del Sorte here.
That when I've got a good athlete like Jim Bodner handling the ball.
I'll bet you a handshake.
You got it.
All right, let's see what the call is.
Little motion. That doesn't mean anything. Whoops, you're right.
You owe me a handshake.
You got it.
Okay. Put it there. First down for Johnson. Rob Del Sorte on the carry. Del Sorte, just a junior, with 374 yards coming into today's game, and he's a good one. And Steve Cicatelli said he's not afraid to give Del Sorte the football.
No, he's 5'9", he's 180 pounds, and he runs till he stops. In other words, he'll break arm tackles.
Excellent on the football field is Rob Del Sorte. He is a fine lacrosse player as well.
They're in the slot left. Wide receivers. Passing formation.
To Paprocki, incomplete. Paprocki
and the flag went down.
And the flag did go down. Paprocki had his back to the football. He didn't even know what was coming his way.
I thought that the defender was run into. Let's see what the call is.
It may be offensive passing interference, but it looks like Brearley is a bit down.
It's defensive pass interference. He didn't even know he ran into him.
Watch it again. Paprocki didn't even know the ball was coming his way. So the passing interference call goes against Brearley. First down.
I don't know. That's a no call.
Bob Taylor not happy about it. I think Bob feels the same way as you do, Bill.
I think he's got reason to be unhappy.
So the ball's now on the 21-yard line, and again, Johnson threatens. The Crusaders lead it 7-0. Steve Cicatelli looks on. So far, he's called a good game.
Yes, he has. He's found where the weaknesses are, and he's taken advantage of them. Let's see if he continues.
Bodner sees something he doesn't like, so he calls a timeout. That's the second time that's happened.
Well, that beats getting thrown for a loss, doesn't it?
Most definitely, and apparently Bodner, being the experienced quarterback, saw that the play that they had called really wasn't going to work with the defensive alignment of Brearley and said, hey, let's call a timeout.
Steve, I think, said hello to the official, the one that made that call. Actually, he's picking on the wrong official, and that's what coaches do occasionally.
7 minutes and 58 seconds to go here. First half, and Brearley High School trails Johnson 7-0. Now for Brearley, this game means an awful lot as well. A win in today's game would mean a top seed in the North Jersey Section 2 Group 1 playoffs, which begin next week.
And it's always nice to win the game before you go into the state championship, before your Thanksgiving Day game. It's always good to have that win under your belt. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
And Brearley has been slumping as of late. Brearley got off to a great start. They beat Governor Livingston 47-7. Boundbrook, the same score. They have been blowing out their opponents, and ever since the third game of the year, their games have been much closer.
They haven't played at Johnson Regional. They haven't played a team that throws this well.
Well, New Providence was a good team. New Providence was an excellent opponent.
Yes, they were. They beat them by 1 point, was it?
By 1 point, 27-26.
And they may meet them again in the state finals or state semifinals. Although they usually, if they meet, they'll meet in the finals. They won't have a meet in the semis.
Draw play. Lost on the play, 4 yards. So
good call, though, Steve.
Second down now, and 14.
Based on the success that they've had throwing the ball, it's always a good call.
Bodner's back, looks for Bryson. He turned him around the wrong way. Bryson looked like he was going with a route which would take him towards the post, and instead the pass went towards the sidelines.
That's what you call a lack of communication. Simple lack of communication. If he would have stopped and turned and he threw the ball, why, it would have been a completed pass at any point. But I guess he expected him to break toward the sidelines, and he didn't.
Bryson was certainly open on that last play, and now it's 3rd down and 14.
What is significant is the fact that there had been open receivers on just about every pattern.
Just over 7 minutes remain in the first half. Johnson with a passing situation, and Bodner is back. Again, he's got a man open, Paprocki, and now he decides to turn it upfield. Breaks a couple of tackles and gets a first down. It looked like Bodner was going to be stopped, and then he broke a tackle, and he's got himself a first down inside the 10-yard line.
That's an extra dimension to that young man, isn't it? He was throwing so well. Now he comes back, his receivers are covered. He tucks the ball, and he goes about 14, 15 yards.
And as you watch, it looked like Brearley had him stopped. And Bodner turned it up, and the ball's on the 7-yard line.
That's that big extra dimension you like to see in a quarterback.
18 yards on the last play for Jim Bodner. So it's 1st down and goal for the Crusaders.
That's a play you don't coach, but you take credit for if you are the coach.
Bodner pitches to Del Sorte. He looks for the end zone and comes up 2 yards short.
And a clip on the play.
Penalty flags are down, and the play will come back.
Yeah, very obvious clip. Very obvious clip on the play. And the funny thing about it was the fellow that was clipped never would have made the play.
Of course, each penalty is critical, but some certainly hurt more than others, and this one is going to hurt.
Yeah, this is a long one, too. This is a clip play penalty. This is a 15-yarder. This hurts a whole lot. 15 yards. Bing.
So you're inside the 10-yard line, and you're putting another 6 points on the scoreboard, and the next thing you know, you look up, and the ball's on the 24-yard line.
First down, though, and with a team that throws as well as Johnson does, you know, they can pick up that yardage real quick. They're always dangerous. A lot of different ways, too, as we just saw.
A beautiful day here in Clark for football, and so far it's been a beautiful day for Johnson.
I expected to see a few more people blitzing, but I guess they're going to have to sit back and
Bodner over the middle. It is complete. Mark Clerman on the catch. Clerman with his 7th catch of the season, and there it is. You have the penalty, it puts you back, and then a play like that puts you right back where you were. The ball's down to the 9-yard line.
About a 15-yard gainer, was it, Steve?
Right on the nose, 15 yards.
I told you. When you're a throwing team, that kind of yardage, you know, is really not out of reach.
Mark Clerman, the senior, with the catch, also a lacrosse player. 2nd down and goal now from the 9. Pitch goes to Power. Tries to get outside, and he's run out of bounds at about the 6. Run out on the play by Tony Millis, who came over from his left end slot.
A good play to string that out. Drive him into the sideline. Third down. Isn't this the case so many times? You come down here via the pass, you get in here, and you just don't want to throw the ball. You're concerned that you're going to make an error. Somehow I get the feeling that we're going to see 2 more passes.
It is third down right here from the 7. That last run by Power picked up 2. Right into the face of Jim Bodner. As he rolls out, he's got nowhere to go, and he goes down. It looked like he may have been able to cut it back across the field. Finally, he goes down. Ilio Siragusa in on the play for Brearley.
Now, are we going to see a field goal attempt?
I believe we are, because Bodner's changing his shoes. Right there you see him putting the kicking shoe on. So it will be a field goal attempt here for Johnson High School.
He punts, he kicks field goals, he runs, he throws.
I saw him selling hot dogs earlier.
It wouldn't surprise me.
From the 20, so it's a 30-yard attempt, and it is good. Jim Bodner puts Johnson ahead 10-0, the 30-yard field goal, and we'll watch it again.
Pressure doesn't seem to bother that young man, does it? Notice his head stays down. All you kickers, did you notice where his head was? Right down at the ball. He never did get his head up until after the arms came up, indicating that it was a completed field goal.
So now, after the last 4 games, Johnson has outscored their opponents 99-0. Quite impressive.
Yeah, and this game is not over yet.
Oh, no, by no means.
There's no question in my mind.
Can you count Brearley out?
No. They're too good a football team. They're
great
too well coached.
And they have been able to move the football. Bonner will kick things off.
They also haven't made the big play. They've made good plays, but they haven't made the good play when they needed to make the good play.
Bonner's kick sails out of bounds. So we'll come back and do it again.
I don't think so. Is he?
Johnson High School scores for the 2nd time today, and we'll watch their scoring drive. 11 plays. And look at the mixture. 5 runs and 6 passes, and that's not bad. 52 yards, and then you get the field goal, so you get 3 points out of it.
And there's no question that his passes set up his runs. If he hadn't been throwing the ball out well, he wouldn't have been successful running the ball. Fact of the matter is, he really wasn't that successful running the ball. Everything he did effectively, he did in the air.
So Bodner tees it up. The band is real loud in the background, and let's listen. As Bodner kicks it, you'll hear the cymbal. I love this part.
See, last week, Johnson only threw the ball 9 times. They didn't have to throw it anymore.
Ramos on the return, and he has a good return out towards midfield. So Brearley takes over an excellent field position. They'll start at the 44-yard line.
How much time is there to go, Steve? Can you see that clock?
I believe there's 4 minutes and 58 seconds. It is tough to sit.
Yeah, they've got enough time, and a score would help their cause a lot.
Well, right now, the Bears trail the Crusaders by 10. Foucher's the quarterback, Brian Chalenski and Mike Chalenski in the backfield for Brearley. This is Mike Chalenski. Now check that, Foucher kept the ball. He faked everybody out, and he's got himself a 1st down.
He's a very dangerous runner. He is a person that Steve Cicatelli was most concerned about, as I indicated earlier. He's a fella they don't want to see handle the ball. They want to see him pitch out real quick or hand off real quick. They don't like to see him with the football. Statistically, he's probably gained more yardage per carry than any other back on the field.
Out and over midfield to the 45-yard line. A gain of 11 yards on that last play for Gary Foucher.
And that was a nice run. He faked everybody out, including myself.
Right. Well, you keep looking for that big fella, Mike Chalenski, you know. But every time he gets near a football, you look for him to run with the football, and he evidently put a good fake on. Watch the fake. Now, that's no fake. That's a mother.
That's Todd Berger's mom, looking on from the sideline today on Parents' Day here at Johnson High School. And if you look, you can see the button, and there's good old Todd right there on the neck and on the button.
He's a player. That kid's a player. Todd Berger is a player. They're going to have to block him.
Brearley High School has clinched the Mountain Valley Conference Valley Division Championship for the second time in 3 years. They're into the playoffs, no question about it. Win or lose today, they'll be playing next weekend. But they're waiting to see who they play and where they play. A win today assures them of the home field advantage throughout the playoffs. 1st and 10 at the 45. Handoff to Chalenski, still on his feet, and now he goes down after a gain of about 3 yards. Rob Gallo was there, along with Brian Power for Johnson.
Right, takes a lot of people, but their pursuit is so good that they get to him, you know, just as soon as the handoff is made. That's what made the fake handoff so effective the last time. He attracts a lot of attention.
You know what I find amazing? Mike Chalenski has not caught one pass the entire season.
Probably because they don't throw it to him, Steve.
Obviously. An excellent thought process on your part there,
sure.
Bill.
That's why I coached for 30 years.
Here's Foucher. He goes down. Mark Clerman was right there, and he took him by the shirt tails and just drove him to the ground.
Defensive end didn't fool him one bit. 6'1", 185 pounds, also very quick off the ball. These teams have scouted each other so well that it's almost impossible to surprise anyone. You've just got to execute is what you need to do now. I'd be surprised if someone wasn't assigned to pull on that play and block them.
3:17 to go, first half.
This is where Brearley doesn't want to be, in a must-pass situation.
3rd down and 15. Foucher throws incomplete. Intended for Marty Ludek. And again, because of Johnson's defense, they're forcing Brearley to go out of their game plan.
Now, we can't fault Brearley as much as we can compliment Johnson's defense. They're doing a great job. They're around the ball wherever.
Chalenski now will punt for the 3rd time today. Power and Lindquist are back deep. Remember the last punt. It was fumbled by Lindquist, recovered by Brearley, and this time we're going to get a fake. Chalenski's got some open running room. He's going towards the 1st down. He's out of bounds.
Very close.
It is going to be
It's
close.
going to be just where he spots the ball.
It is going to be close. He needed to get over the 35-yard line.
It.
They're going to bring the markers across the field. What's the call, Bill?
I can't see where he spotted the ball. We've got too many players in the way. I guess it's good. I think he made it. I think he just made it.
It was a great effort. Watch Chalenski just never gives up. The feet keep on churning. He knew where he had to go.
Seems that way, didn't it?
It's going to be close.
Yeah, it's going to be very close.
He had to get over the 35-yard line.
I can't see where they spotted the ball.
The measurement, it's a 1st down. So the fake punt for Brearley. We talked about the need for Brearley to get a big play. That may have been it.
They've got to do things different, you know. They can't just run at Johnson. Johnson's too strong defensively. They've got to do something different. They've got to take advantage of the fact that Johnson is pursuing so quick. They almost broke that wing-back around play. They did break it once. Anything that goes away from the flow could be good.
Chalenski's longest gain of the day, a 15-yard run, and it's 1st down for Brearley. Inside handoff read well by the Johnson defense. Rob Gallo, a senior, was just right there to make the play.
Right, and they read my mind. That was a wingback coming around, that inside reverse. But he didn't fool that fella. Credit to them one more time. Play calling was, as I feel, excellent play call.
Steve Cicatelli says that Gallo at 5'9", 185 is a great one, and if he was a little bigger, he'd be a Division I linebacker.
All four of those linebackers are tough. Klerman, Berger, Pressman, and Visconti are all tough.
Loss of 3 on that last play, 2nd and 13. Foucher keeps it himself. Throws, it's knocked down, almost intercepted. Again, the pressure on Foucher. He just doesn't have any time to throw.
Always seems to be somebody coming through. At that time, it was Jim Bodner, I believe, coming from his cornerback position. Good hard rush. As soon as he spotted the play, he came and came hard. They're going to have to block him.
Bodner at 6'4", put up the arms, and the extension was the key. Knocked the pass down, and it was almost intercepted by Todd Berger. So it's 3rd and 12.
I get the feeling that they're not prepared for those cornerbacks coming as often as they are. I think they expect them to be laying back.
Let's see right here whether they're coming again. Instead, the handoff goes to Chalenski, and he will be well short of the first down. He picked up 5, but it will bring up another 4th down situation with 1:56 to go.
I guess he's going to go for it this time. He's got nothing to lose. He wants to win the game. Nope, he's sending in his punting team.
It looks as if they may be sending in the field goal team. Mike Vergura is out there, and this will be a 50-yard attempt. Bob Taylor comes running in. The clock is stopped with 1:39 to go. This would be something else.
And what they're telling the Johnson regional players are, hey, look for the fake. Watch the fake. I don't think they're as much concerned with the kick as they are with the fake kick. Now, it may very well be a kick, but that's a long kick for a high school boy, for any kind of a kicker.
Vergura is a good one, certainly regarded as one of the best in the state this season. He has had 2 field goals this season. Well, this one's coming from 50 yards, and this is a healthy boot. Just to show you how good Mike Vergura is, Pat Olenek, also the backup kicker, he's the nose guard for Brearley High School, was named the outstanding kicker at the pit camp this year. So you've got the outstanding kicker at the pit camp as your backup to this man, Mike Vergura.
That'd be a great kick.
John Lynch will place it down at the 40, a 50-yard kick.
Short.
And it's well short. So Johnson High School gets the football back, and once again, the defense holds the Brearley offense.
Good experience for that kid, though. The fact that he didn't kick it may help him the next time he comes out to kick a long field goal. He's been there once before, you know, and he's experienced, so it wasn't a bad idea. May be the difference in a state tournament game.
Well, no question about it. When you think that Vergura, remember earlier, hit the post on the field goal attempt, it just shows that Bob Taylor still has the confidence in the young man.
And probably for good reason.
At the 20-yard line, Johnson takes over with 1:33 to go. They'll stay on the ground with power. He lost the football. Brearley's got it. Ken Kinney on the recovery. And
One more
for the
chance.
football, and Brearley's got it back.
That's their second mistake, and they need to capitalize on this mistake very badly. They need to get in for some kind of a score with 1:27 left to play, Steve. This is key what happens right here.
Second turnover for Johnson. Both times, Brearley has got the football in great field position. The first time they failed to score. We'll see what happens here as the clock moves with 1:13 to go. First half. It has been a good first half.
Veer offense. Here it comes right down the line.
Foucher.
And no way did he want to pitch that ball. No way did he want to pitch that ball. He never even looked at that pitch, man.
Visconti was right there on the play, along with Paprocki, and it is now 2nd down and 12. Clock under a minute, in fact, 45 seconds. Foucher throws complete to Brian Chalenski, and he runs out of bounds. He gets inside the 20 to the 18. Clock is stopped with 39 seconds to go as we watch the last play again.
Good play by that young Chalenski. Goes right down the line, gets as much as he can, and then gets knocked out of bounds. Stops the clock. They've got to complete a pass now. I assume they've got a timeout left in case they need to kick the field goal.
Foucher to Chalenski, and he bowls ahead to the 15-yard line. Again, the clock is stopped with 33 seconds to go. It is a 4th down for Brearley, and again, I believe we should see the field goal unit here. Mike Vergara trots onto the field for Brearley. He'll get his 3rd chance to put some points on the scoreboard for the Bears.
He's been here before.
This will be a 32-yard attempt. Again, John Lynch on the hold. Ball is placed down. It is up, and it is good. Vergara with the 3 for Brearley. And the Bears scored just before halftime, and that could be the big factor as we head into the locker rooms, the fact that Brearley tried and finally came through with some points.
Yeah, that was important. They had to come up with something that time. They're 7 down now. A touchdown ties it up. I would assume that a tie is as bad as a loss in relation to Johnson's chances to make the playoffs. They've got to win. They can't tie.
And they lead it still 10-3. They got on the scoreboard first quarter. Jim Bodner to Eric Paprocki from 30 yards. Bodner with the extra point. But then Bodner kicked a field goal from 30 yards, and Johnson went ahead 10-0. And right here, the 32-yard field goal by Vergara gives Brearley their first points of the afternoon. We're at 10-3. Vergara kicks off. It's short. It's fumbled, but picked back up by Troy Ayer. And he's going to go down. 19 seconds to go, and Johnson comes out with their offensive unit.
I believe they'll just kill the clock. They're not going to do anything dangerous way back here in their own territory.
I think they've learned their lesson, Bill.
Yep, they're going to just kill the clock. They've got 19 seconds to go. I'd be surprised if they ran their offense at this particular point.
Well, the clock is moving. And it looks
they're
like
gonna let it run
we won't
down.
even get a playoff. So
Great.
Johnson goes into the locker rooms ahead.
And a great first half with another great second half coming up.
Oh, I'm sure. Do not go away. We've also got the Brearley and Johnson marching bands at halftime. What a great first half. Everything we thought it would be. Johnson leads Brearley as they go to the locker rooms 10-3. Steve Mayer and Bill Horry back at halftime. Nolan Field. Now, the shot you're looking at happened at halftime. Johnson had made their way to the field. They were there for at least 10 minutes. No signs of Brearley at all, Bill. And as far as we see, no flags have been thrown.
Well, I think there's an explanation of some kind. I don't see Bobby Taylor doing something like this on purpose in order to gain an advantage. He's just not that kind of person. He would never do it. I kind of feel that it was an inadvertent kind of thing. They forgot to warn him that there were 3 minutes, or the door was locked. I just don't feel like on purpose to gain an unfair advantage. He isn't that kind of person.
The door was locked,
Well, I
Bill?
don't know. I don't know. I've been locked into,
At least 10 minutes, though. Johnson was out in the field. But Johnson was enjoying their lead at halftime. They lead at 10-3. This play, the difference. We'll watch from Brearley's defensive perspective.
Now, Brearley is in some kind of a combination man zone. Now, you see him pick up his man, and he just beats him deep. You really don't see him do it in that shot, but he beats him deep. It's a great throw, great concentration on the ball, and just, it's been the difference so far.
It has been the difference, that touchdown. Jim Bodner to Eric Paprocki, 30 yards in all. Johnson had the 7-0 lead. They made it 10-0 in the second quarter. It was Jim Bodner on a 30-yard field goal, and Johnson comfortably ahead until about a minute to go. Second quarter, 10-3's our score as Mike Vigura hit from 32 yards out. It was his third field goal attempt of the day.
You know, they say that games are won because of errors that teams make. You know, they're not really won, they're lost. Well, Johnson has made two major errors, two fumbles, and Brearley has not been able to capitalize on them, Steve.
We'll see those turnovers in our halftime stats, and what pops out in your eye?
Well, yardage gained in the air, obviously. Johnson has been very successful. They have over 100 yards gained in the air. Brearley, on the other hand, has about a minus yardage, minus 6 yards gained in the air.
While Johnson was also waiting for Brearley at halftime, there were also some festivities here at Johnson's High School. The homecoming queens, the finalists, they lined up, they paraded around, and one of 6 finalists will be the lucky homecoming queen, and she'll be the queen at the big dance here at Johnson High School coming up November 25th.
These are great high school activities. Makes me feel homesick, just a little bit.
Here we go, second half. Johnson gets the football. This is Brian Power. And Power gets to the 20-yard line, and that's where Johnson will take over. So far today, well, they scored the second time they had the football. They've moved the ball well throughout the air.
Yeah, they've got to stay with that kind of plan if they're going to be successful. They've got to continue to throw the ball. They've got to not get too cautious and not try to eat up the clock, because what got them here was short passes, finding holes in the zone. If they continue to do that, they'll continue to move the ball.
A penalty off the kickoff, and it looks to be clipping against Johnson. So early, Johnson will have the ball pinned back deep in their own territory at the 10-yard line, and that's a tough place to start.
Right, now if Brearley can keep him here and make him punt from this position, pick up the ball around midfield, they'll be in good position to get right back in this ball game.
Jim Bodner is the quarterback. Brian Power, Rob Del Sardi in the backfield. The wideouts are Eric Paprocki and Chris Lindquist. And Bodner's back. He throws, and this is Paprocki, who makes the catch and gains 5 yards. So quickly we see Bodner going to the air. Paprocki's got himself a catch.
And it's a 6-yard gain, and it's a good gain for first down. And you see, they've got confidence in their passing game. I started to say earlier, they only threw 9 times last week, but they didn't have to throw any more than 9 times. They're prepared to throw 20 to 30 times a game, and I think that's what we're going to see today.
Big crowd here, as you see. Some of the fans will surround the field. They're around the fence, and they're watching great high school football. Second down and 5. Bodner back again. He throws long, and it's incomplete. Again, the pass was heading towards Paprocki, but the pass was just overthrown.
I don't think they can get too greedy, or they should get too greedy at this particular time. Those simple curls and the holes in the zone have been successful for them. I think if I were they, I'd stay with those kind of patterns. Hitting the man out of the backfield, hitting the zone right behind the linebacker, flooding a zone, finding an open receiver. He has those patterns, and he should take advantage of them.
Third down and 5. Again, a passing situation for Bodner. He throws. It's complete. Mark Klurman on the grab. His second catch of the day, and it's good for a first down for Johnson.
Those patterns are very difficult to defense because it stretches the field a whole lot.
Mark Klurman on the receiving end. It's his 8th reception of the year. He has 1 touchdown, and here's a nice catch.
Nice catch and a nice throw. And you see, he puts that ball away. They don't want to make any more errors.
At the 30-yard line, first down 10. Bodner back again. He's got a man, Paprocki, and he's got a first down. Gain of 13 yards on the play. Bodner to Paprocki, the same combination that hooked up for a touchdown first half.
Now they're laying off Paprocki. They're laying off about 8 yards. And all he needs to do is get him the ball. It's a short passing back. All he's got to do is play catch and then let Paprocki run. The pass was only a 4-yard gainer, and then he ran about 7 yards. They're laying way off Paprocki. Now they're playing him a little tighter on this side, but they'll probably double up on him.
From the 43, it's 1st and 10 for Johnson. Again, Bodner back to pass. Again, he throws middle. It is almost intercepted. Gary Foucher had it in his hands, but couldn't come up with the football.
And a boy injured on the play.
Down on the field, it looks like it's Steve Gomich who is down, shaken up. Gomich for Johnson High School, number 31, a senior, 5'11", 170. And he's the man that's down on the field. Interesting that Gomich came in and really played extremely well when Eric Paprocki went down with a knee injury in the second game of the season. And now Gomich is the man who's injured down on the field.
3, 3, 3, 7, 9. 6, 3, 3.
Interesting that time, one of the first times today that Brearley almost came up with an interception. Bodner doesn't throw many interceptions. He's only thrown 5 all season.
Well, he threw that one. It was off the hands of the receiver and then a few other people along the way.
We're going to watch that last play again, Bill. And we'll watch to see whether number 31 gets hurt and how he might get hurt. He's right up there at the top of your screen, and boom, there it is. It looked like he got a knee to the solar plexus.
Yeah, play was just about over, inadvertent.
So Gomich is down on the ground, and he's being attended to.
One of those freak accidents that really didn't have very much to do with the play itself.
And the final and third prize.
You know that Johnson offense has 8 seniors, and that's why they're as composed as they are. Just 3 juniors on that offensive unit. They're an experienced team.
As we told you, a good crowd out here today enjoying the action, also enjoying a beautiful day. Our weather has gone back and forth, and it seems like we've caught a nice one.
It's an ideal day to play football, and the winners will enjoy it.
Oh, no question about
and the losers will say, what a miserable day.
Well, the winner will head to the state playoffs, and we'll have a sectional semifinal for you next week. You'll be able to watch it on TV3 Sunday at 10 a.m. and then again Sunday night at 9:30. So high school football action coming your way next week. The state playoffs, always one of the most exciting times of the entire high school year, and we'll have it for you right here on TV3. Remember, Brearley with a win today will wrap up the #1 seed in North Jersey Section 2 Group 1. It is our understanding that Johnson, with a win today, will make the playoffs in North Jersey Section 2 Group 2. Last night, North Brunswick defeated Hackettstown. Hackettstown was 8-0 coming in. They were one of the top seeds, or going to be one of the top seeds in the section. North Brunswick with the victory over Hackettstown. So that certainly opened the door for Johnson, and with the win, we believe they'll be in the playoffs. We'll find out whether they can hold on to this lead. We'll be back with more football right after this.
Now for 4 days only on the Disney Channel.
Back to action here. Bodner back to pass. He's been throwing an awful lot. He goes long to Paprocki. It is incomplete. Steve Gomich, the injured player who was down on the field when we went to a break, was taken off the field via the ambulance, and the initial indication is that Gomich has a broken rib. So we wish Steve Gomich all the best of luck, and I'm sure many of the people here at Johnson High School, their thoughts are with him as Steve Gomich is taken off to the hospital. Johnson High School now faces a 3rd and 10. 9 minutes and 50 seconds remain here in the 3rd quarter. Johnson leads Brearley 10-3.
And it's getting to where they're throwing about on every down. They've stretched the zone out now.
They're throwing again. The rush was on, but Rocky makes the catch. And, Bill, that was a great catch.
Outstanding catch. The fact that he was able to hold on to the ball makes it a major league reception. There aren't too many kids who'll hold the ball and get hit in the back like he got hit.
Rocky.
Fine catch.
Missed Rocky with an injury. Missed a total of 4 games, and with him out of the lineup, you could see what Johnson missed.
And there's no question that Jimmy Bodner is looking for him every play.
So a first down to the 43-yard line, a gain of 14 yards on that last play. And Bodner's throwing again. This time the rush is on. Bodner throws incomplete. Del Sorte was open, but what a great attack that time from Brearley. Everybody seemed to be coming right at Jim Bodner.
Well, that's the only way they're going to be able to slow him down. I don't think they're going to be able to stop him, but I think that's one of the ways they're going to slow him down. I wouldn't be surprised now to see some slip screen or a little draw play, something just to break up the rhythm of the rush. Because he gets back and sits back like that. Well, he's dangerous every time.
And he's throwing every single down.
Well, it's what got him here, you know. They haven't had very much success running the ball. There's no question about that. That's a tough defense that Brearley has.
Second down and 10. In motion goes Rocky. Bodner back, throws, incomplete. That time intended for Brian Power. So it's third down and 10, and of course, another passing situation for Johnson.
And that's a safe kind of pass, Steve. You know, if that pass isn't caught, it's out of bounds. So that's a safe pass. There's nothing dangerous about that kind of pass.
Bill, Brearley's defense has just got to tighten up, and we watch their pass coverage.
Well, they're in a zone now. They're falling back in their zone. Now they just got to react to the ball, and they're reacting as quickly as they can. But the ball seems to be getting there in a hurry.
Now, we also saw by that replay a couple of Johnson Crusader receivers were open.
Yes, they were.
Third down and 10. Bodner fumbled, and it's recovered by Brearley right at midfield. Brearley comes up with the football. Pat Olenek.
Third break of the game. Third break of the game for Brearley. And they've got to take advantage of those breaks.
They did take advantage of the last fumble, getting the field goal from Vergara, and their Power has the problems, and Olenek pounces on the football.
I think what happened, he started to run the ball before he had it. He was looking at the defender and took his eye off the ball, off the pitch.
So Brearley with the football in Johnson territory at the 49. Handoff inside, met immediately.
Good penetration. Good penetration by number 44 of the defense.
That was Mark Klurman, who was right there defensively for
Mark
Johnson.
Klurman was underneath that pile. He had it stopped before it started. Once again, and that's what they have to do, they have to get to Foucher before he turns the corner. They've got to play him rather than him play the defensive end or the defensive corner. They've got to play the quarterback quickly.
Loss of 1 yard on the play, second down and 11. And here's Chalenski, and again, he is still on his feet. Chalenski just doesn't go down that easily. And he picks up a total of 6 yards on the play, and a nice run for Chalenski.
A simple dive play. All they did was put him in a setback position, fire out with the guard and tackle, hand him the ball, and he churned away for 6 yards.
Brearley, Bill, got good field position throughout the entire first half. They started really with the football in their favor, and they were able to only get a field goal. There's their drives throughout the entire first half, and now they've got one going here in half number 2.
And they've got to keep the ball longer than 3 downs, you know. They've got to do something. They've got to...
Chalenski inside.
He's close. He's
close
very
to the first down. Very
it's
close.
Where they spot the ball.
He doesn't give up. He knows where he has to go, doesn't he?
Right. I guarantee if he doesn't make it, they're going to give him the ball again. I just don't feel that they're going to turn the ball over with a few inches to go. And that's what it looks like. Looks like about a foot to go for a first down.
It will be fourth down. Mike Chalenski, what a great year he's had. Had a tough game last week against Manville, held to 44 yards. And I think The smart money right here would be on Chalenski to get the carry. He's up and over the 44-yard mark. He's got 48 yards today.
And they're ready for him. They're ready for him.
Foucher gives the little shovel pass to his brother, Brian Chalenski, and Chalenski gets the first down. That'll go as a forward pass, I believe.
Well, no, he was reaching out to get him the football, and he just did make it. I don't know if the ball left his hand at all. But once again, it's a quick dive play, and excellent call. Kid runs a little like his brother, doesn't he?
He goes straight ahead. Brian Chalenski's a junior. Mike, of course, the senior. First down now for Brearley at the 35-yard line.
They've got man coverage out here, but he isn't about to throw the ball.
How about that call? Foucher with the quarterback keeper up the gut, and he picks up 7 yards.
Well, he picks up close to 9 yards. Point of the matter is, like I said, he's dangerous every time he has the football. You've got to eliminate him as a ball carrier as quickly as possible, whether he's running the option or gets back to throw the ball.
Foucher, I said he gained 7. Bill said he gained 9. He gained 8.
8 yards.
All right, so it's 2nd down and 2. The Chalenskis are in the backfield. And Brian Chalenski gets the handoff, and he's close to a first down.
He's a little scrapper, isn't he?
Came in with just 27 yards rushing on the season. And let's point out the fact that on the first drive of the game, Joe Capizano, the leading rusher for Brearley, twisted an ankle. He has not come back. And Brian Chalenski has picked up the load, and he has played a good football game.
Yes, he has.
Again, a measurement, and again, a Brearley first down. So at the 25-yard line, Brearley looking to move it into the end zone and possibly tie this football game up.
And a tie hurts Johnson Region.
They have got to win the football game in order to get into the playoffs. They lead 10-3. Foucher again on first down. This time he is dragged back by Jason Pressman.
You know, they're in that 4 defense, and there's nobody over the center. And that's why Foucher is elected to keep the ball. That time they pinched in tight just as soon as he got the ball. They're ready for him that time. Time before, they didn't see him. He was by the tackle before they knew it.
Pressman, a sophomore, has done an excellent job for Steve Cicatelli. Foucher, with the quick feet, has the ability to make the quick move and pick up some yardage. 2nd down and 10. He's back to pass. Over the middle, it's complete. Mike Ramos makes the catch. So Ramos with his 2nd reception of the day, and we'll watch it again.
Yes, and that's a good play. It's a slant play. Ramos from his slot back position slants in over the middle. He has room. It's a safe pass. And they've got to do that once in a while to make sure that the linebackers get back into coverage. Otherwise, those linebackers are right up on the line, you know, and it's pretty tough to run against a team that keeps their linebackers that tight. So in order to back them up a little bit, they've got to run those quick slants.
We're looking at the measurement. It must be so close because the referees are down right now on their knees, and they're trying to see whether or not it's a first down. That's how close it is.
Well, it's 3rd down. It's almost a waist down, you know. A waist down in that they can do something unexpected now and look for the 6 points. Come back and get the first down next time.
Referee Jim Beamish says it is 3rd down and inches. Foucher to Mike Chalenski for the first down. Brearley's drive remains alive, and the Bears are moving the ball and moving it well.
He's like a runaway train when he hits that line of scrimmage. He's just all knees and good body lean.
He has had some great games in his career, Mike Chalenski. This season, 177 yards, 2 touchdowns against Middlesex. He led his team to a state championship victory last year against Roselle Park. He has done it all.
Here's where Brearley has had their problems, though. They've got to shake that jinx somehow.
Brian Chalenski inside the 10 to the 8. A pickup of 5 yards. Penalty flags are down. No flag. Check that. I thought I saw a penalty flag go down. No flag, no penalty. Ball's on the 8-yard line, 2nd down and 5.
That must be a family trait, that fighting ability that those Chalenskis have. That kid's a little scrapper, isn't he? Little, well, he's a junior and he's not too little, but he's a scrapper.
He looks up to his big brother, Mike, who has the ball right here, and he just bulls his way back to the original line of scrimmage with Todd Berger dragging him along. So it is 3rd down, and watch as Berger just grabs a hole, and this is a battle of 2 big players.
2 good players. They're going to have to block Berger. They said that originally. Bobby Taylor told me that yesterday. He says, we're going to have to block Berger. If we don't block him, he's going to raise heck. And he does.
Both Chalenski and Berger looking at similar schools, so they may play each other again before their college careers are through. Here's Mike Chalenski to the 5-yard line, but 2 yards short of a 1st down, and it will bring up 4th down and 2.
Now, would you say this is a big play? We hear that so many times. This is a big play. Steve, this is a big play.
All right, Bill. And what they're going to do here is look for the 3. Instead of going for it on 4th and 2, Vagura is in, and right here, Brearley looking to pick up 3 points. Plenty of game remains with 1:26 to go in the 3rd quarter, and Brearley calls a timeout.
And maybe he's had a change of mind. Maybe that's the reason for the timeout. I don't understand why Brearley would try to call a timeout. I could see where Johnson might want to call a timeout to try to freeze that young kicker, you know. But I don't know why Brearley would call a timeout unless they've got a change of heart. When you get down here on the, well, what is it, the 6-yard line, I guess it is. 6-yard line.
Well, how about this? Out comes the field goal unit, and back in comes the offense. So Bob Taylor did have a change of mind.
Let's see if he has some kind of a trick up his sleeve.
Bill, what would you do in this situation? Would you get the 3 points or try for it at least, and then later in the game, since there is plenty of time, you have the chance for the go-ahead touchdown?
I think if it were me, I'd go for the touchdown, because if you don't get the touchdown, you're going to place the other team in a position where they're going to be in a hole. If you get lucky and get the ball back, you'll get another shot. You may not get down to the 5 or 6 yard line too many times. So I think I would go for the touchdown. And the 3 points is not an automatic 3 points.
There's no question about that. Where the ball is placed, right now you're talking about a 22-yard field goal. Right now we're talking about a 4th down and 2.
Right, 4th down and 2, and that's what he needs, 2 yards. And
now the officials call timeout.
They want to be sure that the ball is spotted correctly.
And it is on the 5-yard line. Backfield split. Brian Chalenski, Mike Chalenski. Handoff, Brian Chalenski, and he is going to be close.
I think he's got it. I think he got it.
Brearley points like they have the 1st down, and again, we're going to get a measurement. Brian Chalenski with the call, and I guess here everybody in the ballpark thinks that it's going to be Mike Chalenski, and Brian gets the football.
Right, and that's what makes it a good call. Brian is a good back. I mean, he's not a slouch.
So here,
everybody and his brother looking at Mike.
Here's a large measurement. It's a 1st down, and it was a 1st down by almost a yard.
So I made a good call, didn't I?
You did, Bill, and so did Bob Taylor. Let's pat him on the back as well.
First one in 11 years for me. He makes them all the time.
The ball is on the 3-yard line. Johnson leads the football game 10-3. Brearley trying to do something about that. Brian Chalenski, touchdown. Brian Chalenski with the touchdown, the junior, and it's a 10-9 football game. Suddenly, the Johnson crowd has grown silent, and here's why.
Just simple dive plays. They're just blowing people off the ball at the line of scrimmage. They're moving people off the line of scrimmage.
Vigura for the extra point that would tie it. And it's good. Brearley and Johnson have played now nearly 36 minutes of football. And we've got ourselves a tie football game.
Well, we said one thing and we were correct. This was going to be a great game, and it certainly is. Everything's down to these last 12 minutes, Steve.
A classic football game, and it will just continue right throughout the entire fourth quarter to pick up in intensity.
Right, I expect to see Johnson throw those short curls this last period, try to maintain ball control by keeping the ball up in the air, short passes.
They're celebrating on the Brearley side, and why not?
No, sure. They came back from 10 points down. I knew they wouldn't pack it in. They're too composed.
Interestingly enough, on the Brearley side, Joe Capizano has taken the pads off. It looks like he's through for the day. So we will not see Joe Capizano, Brearley's leading rusher. But in his place, Brian Chalenski is doing the job. As the kick goes into the end zone, and Johnson will take it on the 20-yard line. 59 seconds to go, third quarter.
People should know in high school ball, that's automatic. Once it crosses the goal line, it comes out to the 20-yard line. There's no choice involved. You can't run it out.
Brearley High School has fought back, trailing 10-0. They have scored 10 straight points. We're tied. Brearley still has a 14-game unbeaten streak. Last week's loss ended a 12-game winning streak. I should say last week's tie. Of course, Brearley came in at 6-0-1. Bodner still throwing, and it's picked off.
Intercepted.
Mike Ramos, Johnson's fourth turnover. And Brearley is now riding red hot. They are certainly playing good football, and they get the pickoff for Mike Ramos.
Could we see that again? Do you think it's possible? Because the ball was reasonably well thrown. The ball hit the receiver. The receiver was open. Unfortunately, bounced off his hand. There it is. Bounced off his hands and into the waiting Ramos's arms.
So your wish is granted, and there's the replay, and Ramos is off and running.
Yeah, he's a good runner. He's a wingback. He's got good speed. He's a good runner.
Brearley 20 yards away from another score. Foucher goes forward for a couple. Again, on first down, that's the third time it's happened here in the third quarter that Foucher has kept the football himself on first down.
Well, he gained about 2.5 yards with a break. He could have got maybe 3 yards. He could have gone a lot further. They need to make the one first down, and they're in good field goal range right now, I expect.
The clock ticking down right now on the third quarter, and that last play will be the last play of the quarter. We are going right now to a fourth quarter that should be filled with plenty of excitement. Brearley and Johnson knotted up at 10. We'll be back with the exciting finish right after this. Back to Nolan Field in Clark. What a game, 10-10. The ball's on the 17-yard line, second down and 8 for Brearley.
Well, those mistakes catch up to you after a while, and they have thus far.
Chalenski tripped up by Jason Pressman.
Good play by Jason. Jason got under that play, penetrated about 1.5 yards, got under the play to make the stop.
Brearley tied it up late in the third quarter. The touchdown run, Brian Chalenski 2 yards out. So now it all comes down really in Johnson's season and in Brearley's hopes for a #1 seed to the final 11 minutes and 26 seconds.
This is the 4th turnover for Johnson, and you don't turn the ball over 4 times against a quality team. and get away with it.
Foucher keeps it himself. He tries to go for that first down marker, but it looks as if he'll be short.
Yes, he's short, but not by much. Not by much, Steve.
In the third quarter, Bill, we'll check out the statistics. Brearley has been running the football very, very well.
Look at the total yards passing, though. 167 for Johnson and 3 for Brearley.
So here, a 4th down and 3 situation from the 13-yard line, and Brearley will go for the field goal. Mike Fagura is in. It will be a 20-yard field goal attempt. Brearley can go ahead right here. It's up, and it is no good. It looked a little short. It was over to the left. And we're still tied at 10.
Was close. No points for close.
Unfortunately for Brearley. Watch it again.
A lot of pressure, a lot of pressure.
And just to point out the intensity, did you see the Johnson players? But did you see them going with all they had to try to block that kick?
Sure. That's a big play.
Johnson's got the ball back. They have had problems with turnovers. 2 turnovers, in fact, in the third quarter. One was costly. The other one, they were able to hold Brearley. That last field goal attempt came after an interception by Mike Ramos.
Johnson has got to continue doing the things that got him into the ball game.
Here's Power and a big opener for Brian Power. 14 yards on the play and a first down for Johnson. Now, if I can remember correctly, that's only the second running play of the entire second half for Johnson. The first time they ran a running play, Power fumbled. Here's a big gainer.
Right, that was a quick pitch. They got to the outside. Power's got good speed, among other things. Got to the outside and picked up the first down.
10 minutes and 21 seconds remain. We'll try to keep you posted on the clock as much as we can. First down and 10.
These teams are so well prepared for each other, Steve.
Here's Power. Again, nice gainer. Good yardage on first down. He picks up 7 yards on the play.
Well, what's happened is the Brearley cornermen have played off the line, you know, and the linebackers have played off the line. They're looking for that short pass in the zone that we spoke of. And now what they've done is they've taken advantage of that situation. They've pitched out and they've attacked those areas on foot.
Power with 27 yards rushing. He had his second 100-yard game last week in a 33-0 Johnson victory over Hillside. Here he is again. Again, he goes for the first down, and the second effort gets Brian Power and Johnson the first down out towards midfield at the 45-yard line.
Great individual effort. Great individual effort. No wonder so many major colleges are looking at that young fella. He's 6'2", 195 pounds, good speed, good body lean, and a competitor.
Interesting. Johnson has changed their game plan. They were throwing and throwing and throwing. Now they're running with Power. Here comes the pass. It's to Peprocki, but overthrown. Jim Bodner has cooled down just a bit. What a great first half he had.
Just put a little too much air in the ball, but he wanted to keep it safe, you know. He didn't want to keep it low. When you throw high like that toward the sidelines, it's either caught or it's out of bounds. That one was out of bounds. Second down and 10. He gets another chance. And when you have those capability to throw the ball, you know, every chance is a potential long gain or a touchdown.
9:13 to go. 45-yard line. Second and 10. Power. Picks up 7 more yards. Brian Power, over 500 yards on the season for Power, and he's picking up good yardage on this drive for Johnson.
Third and about 2.5. They've had good luck with that pitch. I wouldn't be surprised to see it again to the long side of the field.
On the play, a penalty flag, and the indication, holding against Brearley.
Holding against the defense.
So they'll move it ahead 10 more yards. It's on the 37-yard line. The crowd beginning to pick up. You can hear them in the background. Bob Taylor, look at him. He's really trying to cheer his team on. Don't be upset by the mistakes and continue to play the good football that they've been playing.
You don't see that called too many times. Defensive holding on a running play.
Johnson looking for the trip to the playoffs. Pitch out. Again, it's Power being chased. Run out of bounds. He may have picked up a couple of yards on the play, but good defensive pursuit. Mike Chalenski was over there. Tony Millis was there, and chasing on the play was Ilio Siragusa.
Right, now they've established the fact that they can attack the corners with the quick pitch. Now they've got to come back and throw the ball in that same area, faking the quick pitch. That's my call.
All right, we'll see what happens here, Bill, as Steve
That's my
Cicatelli makes the call and sends it into Jim Bodner. 2nd down and 9.
Fake the pitch,
8:34.
roll out.
Well, there it
There
is.
he goes.
Bodner's back. He's looking over the middle. Power's out there. It is almost picked off. Foucher on the coverage.
Almost caught and almost picked off. And if he would have thrown it just a little earlier, he had a receiver. His receiver was open.
Brearley, I believe, was also expecting the pass that time.
Now watch where he breaks open. There he is. He's open now. He's got to throw it now. He's got to throw it now. Now. Too late.
Exactly.
Late.
And also the pass floated.
Right.
And Foucher was able to get over in time. So it's now 3rd down and 9, and we're talking passing situation. Johnson has put the ball up 22 times this afternoon. It should be 23 right here.
They're at home in this kind of a situation because they're geared to throw the ball.
The rush is on. Brian Chalenski almost had his man, and now it's complete. Mark Clerman gets back to the line of scrimmage. How about that? Bodner must have dropped back at least 20 yards.
Unbelievable. 22 yards he dropped back.
So the play covers 20 yards, and what does it do? It gets you back to the line of scrimmage.
And now it's 4th down, and they're going to have to kick it with 7:57 to play. Are they going to kick it?
Watch it again, and watch. Here Clerman makes the catch, and then he runs, and you think this might be a big gainer. The gain on the play, 0 yards.
And now he's taking the timeout. They're wondering whether they should try another pass on this 4th down.
Well, it will be an interesting call.
Well, it's 7:41 to go.
Got plenty of time.
Yeah, they'll get the ball back.
And what you do here, in essence, is put Brearley pinned back in their own territory.
Right, and you use up a timeout right now, too. That's unfortunate.
Exactly.
He may want this timeout.
So the intricacies of football as Brearley now huddles. They knocked off Johnson last year 31-7. They're having a rougher time of it this afternoon.
Well, Johnson can't settle for a tie. They've got to play for the win. But I don't know if trying to get a 1st down with 9 yards to go near about midfield is the way to go about it. It's dangerous living. Gambler's paradise. I don't know if I wouldn't do it or not. Don't get me wrong.
You know, what would happen here, you're risking, of course, you might throw a dangerous pass in a situation like this. Brearley could get the ball with nice field position.
I just get the feeling that Steve Cicatelli feels if he can't win it, he doesn't want it. In other words...
Oh, he's got to win it.
Yeah, a tie normally is like kissing your sister, you know. But a tie in this situation is even worse.
A tie today is like kissing your ugly sister.
Right.
They're going for it on 4th down and 9. And Bodner is back to pass. Looking for Paprocki. Incomplete. So Brearley gets the football back. Good coverage that time for Brearley and Ken Kinney. And Johnson shouldn't be too upset. They're going to get the football back today, but here's the play again that doesn't come up for them on 4th down.
Well, he tried to thread the needle that time, and there really wasn't room. There really wasn't room for that ball to get in there.
So Brearley takes over at the 37-yard line, and Bob Taylor, who has so much big game experience, now has his team with the football and with a very, very strong running attack. We've watched it all afternoon. We'll see it here. Mike Chalenski, and he bowls for 3 yards.
Somehow it looks like he's going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage, and then the ball gets put down, and he's gained 3 yards.
Throughout the entire day, Bill, 1st down for Brearley has been so critical. If they can gain a couple of yards, they can really stick to their game plan. When Johnson stops them, they have to go to the pass.
Yeah, but they got to get more than 3 yards, Steve. They've got to get 5 and 6 and 7 yards. 3-yard gainer doesn't do it. 3 3-yard gainers only gives them 9 yards. They need 10.
2nd down. Inside handoff goes to Brian Chalenski, and he goes down immediately. Mark Clerman was right there for Johnson High School to make the play.
That was Pressman and Berger. They're tough crew to run against. Tough crew to do almost anything against.
Clock is moving. 6 minutes, 30 seconds to go.
Let's see if they throw that quick slant again. They've had good luck with it. The 2 times they've thrown it to their wideout.
3rd down and 5.
He's playing a little tighter now.
Foucher keeps it himself. He goes down. Again, Johnson's defense just rises to the occasion. And once again, Mark Clerman makes the play. He has played a very, very fine football game.
He stopped a very dangerous quarterback, because if he gets by him, he's gone. Katie, bar the door.
Mark Clerman, a senior 6-footer, 185 pounds, and he forces Brearley into a punting situation as the band plays, and things now are looking back up again for Johnson as the defense came through. Again, we get a timeout on the field. A lot of timeouts, and one has to wonder why.
I'm very surprised, yeah. These are timeouts that get to be critical timeouts late in the game.
Of course, high school football, certainly the focus this afternoon, but this week, high school soccer moves into their state sectional finals and their state finals. And we'll have one for you on TV3. You can watch it Friday night at 9 o'clock, Saturday at 3:30. And, of course, the teams that will be in our state final yet to be determined, but will be there again as high school soccer moves into its final stages.
Steve, I hope that the people that live in the town of Clark and the town of Kenilworth appreciate the kind of work that people like Steve Cicatelli and Bob Taylor do with these young men. These are just outstanding young men, and it's no accident. It's no accident. They teach that kind of attitude, that kind of gentlemanly-like behavior. They're fierce competitors, but they're good sports and they're gentlemen, and that's a credit to their coaches. And I sure hope that the people in those towns appreciate these 2 young men.
And they're becoming fixtures in each of their towns. Bob Taylor has been at Kenilworth, Brearley for 14 years, and Steve Cicatelli has been in Clark at Johnson High School now for 8 years.
And they're the 2 hardest working young men on their staff, and the hardest young men probably in each of those towns.
Our officials currently discussing matters down on the field. The referee, Jim Beamish, the umpire, Bob Clark, linesman Ken Totten, lines judge Ron Murata, back judge George Angelo, and the clock operator, Frank Sayer today. Mike Chalenski will punt things away when we're ready to get rolling. 5 minutes and 40 seconds left in what has been a classic football game, a real good one.
And it's good to have a Chalenski punting for you in this kind of a situation, because he averages about 38 yards to the line of scrimmage, and you need it right now.
And remember, earlier in the game, Chalenski with the fake punt that gave Brearley a first down. He ran for 15 yards of Brearley's 164 total yards on the day.
Well, you know, you get away with that once a game. I don't know if you dare do it twice a game.
4th down and 5. Chalenski steps into this one. Lindquist on the run, makes the catch, and he goes down at the 35-yard line. Johnson has the football back. 5.5 minutes to go. One team here is going to leave a winner and a happy one as they head into the state playoffs.
Okay, we've got 5.5 minutes to go. We've got one of the finest throwing quarterbacks in the state and running quarterbacks in the state. Let's see what he can do with an outstanding running back and Brian Power, good receivers and Klerman and Paprowski.
From the 35, 1st and 10, and Bonner's going to throw. Over the middle, it's Power, and Power's got some running room. On the play.
You don't throw a ball any better than that. You don't thread the needle any better than that. There's no one could throw a better ball. Right on the money, splits a seam, gets an extra 10 yards.
1st down now, and 10 at the 37. And Bodner liked what he saw last time. He'll do it again, and this time it's incomplete. Lindquist, the intended receiver.
And Kinney laid one on him when the ball went by. He'll be looking for him next time, Kinney Field.
The pass can excite a crowd. It can excite a team. It can really get things going. And you can feel it. That pass from Bodner to Power really got Johnson motoring.
One more 1st down, and they're in pretty good field goal position, you know. One more 1st down is what he needs.
An official's timeout on the field.
I think they've done a pretty good job of controlling this ball game. The reason for the delay was that they failed to throw the flip card around, making it 2nd down.
2nd and 10, pitch out to Power. He has really played a good 4th quarter. This time he goes nowhere. Look at all the white shirts.
Just nowhere to run. Nowhere to run. I bet 7 people got a piece of him that time. 3rd down. It's a throwing down, no question. Just nowhere to run.
You see Brian Chalenski there. Mike Chalenski was there.
Mike's played a good, unnoticed job at middle linebacker today. You notice him more when he has the football, but he's done a good job defensively.
And in college, Mike Chalenski will play defense. He'll be a linebacker in college. 3rd down and 9, and Bonner rolls out. He's got a man, Paprowski, but it's overthrown. Paprowski was wide open. The pass was a little too high to handle.
Well, he wasn't wide open. The free safety, Gary Foucher, came over just when the ball did. But he could have thrown the ball a little earlier that time. Could have set up just a little earlier. He had somebody in his face. I think it was Chalenski. He's an imposing figure in anybody's face, isn't he?
Oh, there's no question about that. You've got the 6'5" Mike Chalenski going up against the 6'4" Jim Bodner. Bodner more effective, too, when he can roll out and get out of the pocket. Here he goes straight back. And he is going to have some problems here. Throws almost intercepted by Chalenski. It's incomplete.
Oh, is he waiting for that play? Oh, Chalenski, Mike Chalenski was waiting for that play.
And
he
Chalenski now regrets it. He would have loved to come up with an interception. Brearley gets the football back. Watch Mike Chalenski defensively.
He reacts to the ball very well. He watches the quarterback. There's his arm back. He sees the ball being thrown. There it is. It's mine. Whoops.
But a good job, and you watch the concentration in his eyes, always keeping an eye on Jim Bodner. Brearley's got the football, 3:45 to go at the 37-yard line. Foucher keeps it himself, tucks it in. He's got a big gainer. First down yardage for Gary Foucher as he just tucked it in. A design play. It's good for a first down.
When you've got a Mike Chalenski in the backfield, anything that you do to collapse the middle, to bring those linebackers in, because they need those linebackers to stop them, makes that outside threat such a great threat. And that's what happened that time.
11 yards on the play for Gary Foucher. Out of bounds he went at the 47-yard line. Foucher again keeps it. Again, this time tucks it in and goes out of bounds. Doesn't gain as many yards as that last play. Picked up maybe 3 on the play, but again, Foucher keeps it himself.
But he didn't throw the interception. His receiver was covered downfield. And he didn't throw into coverage, which was wise. Now he's got second down. He's got 2 more chances at least to get that first down.
Foucher has been solid at quarterback throughout the years for Brearley. His second year starting. Last year he led the Bears to a 9-1-1 mark. 2nd and 7. Handoff, Mike Chalenski, he lost the football. Mark Lerman recovers the ball for the Crusaders, and Johnson has it back with 3:26 to go.
I don't know if he ever had the ball. That Clerman came in so fast. At the exchange is where the ball popped loose. Right at the exchange.
It looked as if George Visconti may have gotten a helmet on the ball. Clerman with the recovery. Johnson gets it back at the 48-yard line. Oh,
with
my.
3 minutes to play.
It's going to be exciting down the stretch. Bodner, pitch out, power. Looks for some blocking and gets to the 45. Clock is moving. Under 3 minutes to go in the game. We're still tied at 10 apiece.
I don't think they plan on running the ball downfield, but what they'd like to do is see those linebackers come back up on the line of scrimmage. If they don't, they're going to run that pitch as they did that time. That's a 5-yard gainer on the first down, and that's not bad.
I would look for Bodner to power again with that quick opener over the middle. It has worked throughout the entire afternoon. 2nd down, we'll call it 6. Here's Bodner. He rolls out, takes it himself, and he's got a first down. Jim Bodner keeps it himself. It looked like his forward movement was good enough for the first down.
I guess he's got it by about a foot.
Clock is now stopped with 2:10 to go. Watch.
Yeah, I thought he had it.
The measurement where the ball is placed is certainly, I don't think, in the favor of Johnson. It looked like they moved it back from where Bodner actually was. We'll see the measurement. It would be 3rd down in inches if this is not the first down conversion. Johnson High School with their most victories in a season since 1980. They were 6-3 back in 80, led by quarterback Glenn Bodner. And how about this? They're now led by Jim Bodner. And here they're looking to make it 7-1 on the season.
And they've got inches to go. What do you do now, Steve? Do you go for the first down or do you go for broke?
Well, it's 3rd down right here. Right. I would just go right here for the first down.
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
I would.
I would go for the first down.
I'd go for the long gainer. And if I didn't get it, I'd come back and get the first down.
Okay.
Right.
Fair enough. We'll see what happens here. This is.
I never said I was right. I said that's what I do.
Well, there.
Yeah. That's the reason
why
I'm not coaching.
If there are any coaching jobs available for myself, I may apply.
But you know, we never know what would have happened had he faked that, come back, and thrown deep. You never know what the result of that would have been.
It's a first down. The clock stops as the chains move. And now the clock moves. Under 2 minutes to go at the 37-yard line. And now Brearley calls a timeout. Interesting call. A timeout for Brearley. So both teams will discuss matters. 10-10 is our score. Brearley called that timeout, not Johnson. 1:52 to go.
The only reason for that would be to kind of settle down his troops a little bit. Get them in the correct coverage. I know they're going to have to throw the ball. Johnson is going to have to throw the ball. If they try to run the ball, they don't have enough time, you know. They haven't been successful in busting a long play. The only long play they've completed has been the pass, so they're going to continue to pass. And if I were them, I wouldn't go for broke on the first down. I'd go for that medium range pass, that short pass, 5-6 yards. Maybe you can break a tackle, pick up 9, 10, 12, 14 yards. Get downfield that way. He's got 1:52, enough time.
Remember, Jim Bodner in the second quarter kicked a 30-yard field goal. So he's got a good foot. A field goal would win the game and send Johnson to the playoffs. 1st and 10, 37-yard line.
A lot of people up front.
Bodner to throw. He throws it out to Pat Rocky, and what a catch! What a catch!
What a great
in
catch.
Traffic, Eric
What a
Pat
great
Rocky.
catch.
1:45 to go. The clock stops as they move the chains. The ball's at the 15-yard line, and it's bedlam here in Clark. What a great catch. Watch it again. Pat Rocky
He just
goes
wanted
up.
that ball. He concentrated on the ball. The ball was up there for him. Very good pass. Fine throw.
You mentioned he wanted it. He got it. Powers got it here, and Power drills it to the 12. Clock moving. 1:22 to go. 10-10's our score, and oh, what a game this has been.
And I'm sure they have a timeout left. I'm sure they have at least one, probably two.
Clock, you
With
see,
1 minute and 8 seconds to play.
is moving. Bodner breaks the huddle at the 12-yard line.
Now, what they can't do is turn the ball over. They cannot turn the ball over.
Bodner's backed up pass. Throws over the middle. Incomplete. Intended for Paprocki, but the clock does stop with 49 seconds to go. It will be 3rd down.
Well, if he can't get an open receiver, then he's going to have to throw this away and bring it down to the field goal. He can't risk throwing into coverage at this particular point.
What a great time also to have the experience of a Jim Bodner leading the way.
That's
he
right.
knows to throw the ball away in this type of a situation.
Or keep it. You know, he'd keep it himself. Run the quarterback draw.
The playoffs are on the line for Johnson High School. Pass in the flat. Power made the catch. He made the catch. What a great catch. And I'll tell you something. Johnson, with the game on the line, they've been coming up with outstanding performance after outstanding performance. Watch this catch. It's a thing of beauty.
Just outstanding. He gets out for that ball. He really stretches.
Oh, my.
And that was the only place it could be thrown in order for it to be caught.
Incredible. What a catch by Brian Power. The ball on the 4-yard line, and Johnson in striking distance. We're tied at 10 apiece. Johnson needs a win. If they win, they go to the playoffs. If they lose, well, they've got Thanksgiving ahead.
Well, this is a senior team. Of their first 22 players, I guess about 17 of them are seniors. You know they're looking to win. You know how important it is. They've worked 2 and 3 years to get here. They're not going to want to blow it right now. There's a lot on the line. This is high school football at its very best, Steve. This has all the excitement of, the excitement of living.
Johnson, we mentioned, they could care less about that Thanksgiving Day game. They want to play November 21st. They don't want the turkeys. This game has had all the trimmings, though, of being just a classic high school football game. From the 3-yard line, Bodner to pass.
No, he's going to run the ball.
Bodner runs it to the referee, runs it to the end zone. Johnson High School.
He was going to run that ball. There was no question in his mind.
Johnson
No question in his mind. He was going to take it upon himself to run that ball. He wasn't going to trust anybody. He wasn't going to trust the pass. He was going to run that ball. He said, I'll do it, and he did.
Jim Bodner with a touchdown. It's bedlam here in Clark. They're going nuts. Why not? They deserve it. Johnson High School has taken a 16-10 lead. 34 seconds left. The extra point is good. It's bedlam everywhere, including the press box.
This is a classic example of two heavyweights slugging it out.
Watch the replay. Now watch as Bodner runs into the referee and says, get out of my way. I got to get into the end zone.
Now, he isn't going to throw that ball. He wants that 6 points. He's going to keep the ball. He sees the goal line. He's got to beat some people, which he does.
And he pushes everybody out of the way to do it.
I'll
Jim
do
Bodner.
it. Right.
Johnson.
Great individual effort. Steve, we've seen some awfully good athletes this afternoon, haven't we? We've seen some outstanding performers.
34 seconds, though, remain.
And one of them is Jim Bodner.
Now, Brearley still has time. It's tough to even hear yourself think. The crowd is picked up. The band is on their feet. The band playing the familiar Johnson, the fight song. And Johnson leads it 17-10. Now, Brearley, with the loss, if Johnson's lead holds up, still will go to the playoffs.
Right. The only thing they lose is a home court advantage for the playoffs. They'll be in the playoffs.
Ground ball picked up by the up man. It's Marty Ludek, and Ludek gets the ball to about the 42-yard line.
Not bad position.
No, not at all. And Johnson cannot relax. There's still 27 seconds left, and we have seen stranger things happen.
Right, and the fat lady hasn't lit up her cigar yet, has she?
I just hear a band singing. I don't hear the fat lady singing.
No, not yet.
Now, you're going to have the good old prevent defense, which sometimes can be costly. And when you have a Mike Chalenski back there,
ball up in the air.
Well, he's throwing. Clerman's coming. He throws long. It could be picked off. Johnson High School is going to the playoffs.
They're going to get a delay of game unless they get off the field pretty quick.
Johnson High School.
And they do. See that good discipline team.
See that? And they needed a win, though. And talk about discipline. Watch this. Here it comes. Steve Cicatelli's going to get it. He's going to get it down in the field. And there it is. You could see it. Steve Cicatelli just got all wet. The good old Gatorade.
He doesn't feel a thing.
I saw that coming.
He doesn't feel a thing.
It's over. Johnson High School. Look at the excitement. Just take it in.
What a great game.
Words do not describe the victory. We're going to a break. Just watch and enjoy it. Johnson High School with the victory today, 17-10 over Brearley.
And look at the class of Bobby Taylor walking across, congratulating the Johnson Regional staff as badly as he feels, and we know how badly he feels. He has class. He's quality.
We'll be back to wrap things up right after this. Welcome back to Nolan Field in Clark. So much excitement This afternoon, Johnson High School with the victory over Brearley. The final score, 17-10. Jim Bodner's late touchdown gives Johnson the victory. We're ready for our post-game activities, and joining us, Brian Power. And Brian, a feeling like this, it doesn't come along too many times in high school sports. It must be incredible.
This is the best feeling I've had in my life. I'm probably there's no other feeling like this throughout your whole life, I'm sure. Hopefully we're going to the States. Hopefully we can go on and win the States. That wasn't just a game out there. That was a war, if anything. We won that war, and it feels really great.
It looked like even though you had the 10-0 lead, Brearley came back to tie it at 10-10. This team never felt they were going to lose this game.
That team is great. They never think they're going to lose. They're a second-half team all year. Well, last 3 games, actually. We knew we had to play tough for the second half, which we really didn't. But we pulled it out, and they gave it the best effort, but we came out the winners.
Brian, you were the workhorse actually in the fourth quarter. Jim had been throwing the ball consistently in the third quarter, and you picked up some real good yardage.
Yeah, Coach, started giving me the ball, and they were kind of loosening, like nickel day. I think they were yelling nickel day, and they gave me the ball. I was finding the holes real nice and banging out 10 yards each shot, so it was real nice.
Congratulations once again. A fantastic victory. Brian Power, the running back, had a real good game, as did quarterback Jim Bodner. Bodner with the winning touchdown run. The obvious question, when you got into the end zone, what was it like?
It was the best thing I ever felt in my life. We were waiting a year to beat these guys, and we said before the season, if we don't make the playoffs, we don't care if we lose all games. All we want to do is beat Brearley, and it just felt great.
You have been shooting for this game for so long. The preparation leading into the game, you guys knew you were ready. You knew what you had to do. Did you think you came through with the game plan that you wanted to fulfill coming in?
Yeah, we thought we could pass on them, and we could have passed them all day. I thought I had a bad day throwing. I was overthrowing a lot of guys. We shouldn't have been this close. If I completed some of the passes, I should have. But I think our game plan worked out. But I don't think it should have been this close. We made a lot of mistakes, and we just got to work on that next week. Can't make the mistakes in the playoffs.
Now, into the playoffs Johnson goes. What are some of your hopes now as you head down the stretch? What are some of the things that you saw today that maybe you have to work on next week?
We got to cut out our mistakes. We fumbled the ball a couple of times deep in our territory against good teams like, Brearley and teams in the playoffs. They're going to capitalize on that, and, we just got to cut those out. We'll be all right.
Jim Bodner, congratulations. A fantastic job today for Jim Bodner, throwing the football and running as well as he scores the game-winning touchdown. Steve Cicatelli, 17-10, the final score. You've been thinking about this game for oh so long. Now that it's over, what does it feel like?
I think I got a few more gray hairs. It feels great. The kids, I can't say enough about these guys because we got hammered by Immaculata, and we knew we had a good team, And after the game, I called up some of the players and said, "Look, it's a long season, and one game doesn't make a season. We just got to pick up the pieces and get back to work." And they're just a great bunch of kids. They work hard. Towards the end of the game, they never gave up. And they knew what we had to do. I thought we came out a little tense today, because we had a big game every week, but this one was the biggest. We had to win to get in the playoffs, and they were tense, and we made some mistakes, but in the end, they just hung in there and did the job.
How much of a factor do you think this game might have on next week's game? This is certainly a playoff atmosphere.
Well, I don't know. I hopefully that we didn't just work to get into the playoffs. Okay, our goal wasn't just to get into it. We want to win it, and that's the thing we're going to get across to them. We don't want to have a letdown next week. We work to get into the playoffs to win them. Our goal wasn't just to get to the playoffs.
Now that you're in, it seems like you're in. This team obviously can go places because there are so many key performers. We were mentioning right throughout the senior leadership.
Right. Well, these kids have, they've been with us. Some of us, Brian, Jimmy, and Todd have been 3-year starters. Their leadership has been outstanding through the year, and they've matured so much, not only physically but mentally. I think that's the most important thing with these kids is that they've grown up mentally. Experience and all that may have had a lot to do with it, but with the pleasure of coaching these kids is I've watched them grow into young men, and they've done a great job.
Congratulations on the victory. Go and enjoy it. Johnson High School now at 7-1 on the season. They seem to be heading towards the playoffs. Brearley will also be in the playoffs next week. North Jersey Section 2 Group 1. This was just a great football game.
Well, it was one of the finest games that I've ever witnessed. And what impressed me the most was not only the football that we saw here this afternoon, it's the character of the kids that played this football. They're all gentlemen, you know, they're all quality kids. And when the chips were down, you could almost feel it, you know, give me the ball, that kind of an attitude. Everyone wanted to be a factor in that game, and most certainly David Brearley has nothing to be ashamed of. They gave it everything they had, and unfortunately they came up a little short, but they're going to be tough in the playoffs, as will Johnson Regional be tough in the playoffs, Steve.
Johnson High School went out to a 10-0 lead. Brearley came back, tied it at 10. It went all the way down to the waning moments of the contest. Jim Bodner's 2-yard touchdown run gave Johnson the victory and the trip to the playoffs. We'll have state playoff action for you next week on TV3. Until then, for Bill Horry, I'm Steve Mayer. Have a good night. Today's game is brought to you by the Westwood, the new kid on the block with 24 years experience. And by Riverside Savings, serving New Jersey and the nation for 100 years. By Royal Battery, the king of power. And by Barnes Chevrolet, where Alan Boyens, sales floor manager, has received the Outstanding Award for overall professional customer satisfaction.
And my oil's gotta be Wesson vegetable oil.
What could be better? Good food and the goodness of corn oil. Wesson corn oil.
Eating light is right.
And today's light dishes taste great with Wesson sunflower oil.
Wesson vegetable